넘어지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 자청을 쳐봐 어둠이 나
Shib, it's good to be back because right now, Story of America is the two Titans on the top, right? Kind of what we expected going in, although a little bit of some hiccups and craziness along the way. It's the Avengers of TLC and the newcomers to LAN in Swamp Gaming. But now we get to figure out the last spot, the last team, and the last will to fight in this lower bracket, buddy. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Thieves showed that Swamp has weakness a little bit. They looked really good in a couple of those matchups. Obviously, you know, a little one-sided outside of that, but you know, that's a huge thing. That's something that's super important. I think teams just want to see a little weakness so they get some confidence. But yeah, man, I'm stoked to find out who's going to move forward in this lower side bracket.
For sure. We have a team or teams going in against each other again, and it's two major orgs at that. We start with FlyQuest, and you guys know them. This was America's best last year. Obviously, brand new roster, but still trying to carry that same expectation ship of the organization that they are, right? And this lineup may be newer for them this year, but the pressure that FlyQuest has not gone anywhere. Talk to me about this team a little bit, buddy, and what you like.
Yeah, I mean, Fly off the rip, you know, they struggled a little bit, but I think it truly was just team chemistry, and they just needed time together. Cart, Techie, Melio, Tuzi, Zelos, and Velocity. I mean, this whole team is super talented. They've all been pulled from various teams. It's kind of like a hodgepodge of other teams that have been in Ignite, but they are so talented. I think now that they have some time under their belt, they will continue to be a star. But yeah, they've gone against this team in Sen in the past. They took home the win. They just got to rinse and repeat here.
Yeah, I mean, hey, good things come to those who wait, right? And I feel like FlyQuest just get better the longer they keep cooking. Quite literally, man. Tuzi, you know, Swamp Gaming, they have comms for him. They call him God. I mean, this guy is absolutely crazy. Melio, a bit more of the question mark these days, but still a very good DPS at that. And if he plays at his best, this team is going to be tough to beat. And, man, we know what the rest of this team could do. More on them in a second. Sentinels, though. This is a story ship. Obviously missed out on the grand finals, right? But mid-season finals, they bring back 3 of the members that got them there a year ago to China, and they're there to do it again today in the lower bracket finals. And me and you know best, buddy, they did a lower bracket run in that preseason and made it pretty far there.
Yeah, this is a team that just seems to show up when they need to. It's like playoffs are where they shine. Granted, they are going to be on the lower side of the bracket here, but like you said, it's a storied team. They have a lot of history together. They show up with some weird compositions that work. You know, they have some moments where they struggle, and that's something that we can discuss, but, you know, they're great at the penny comp. They're not afraid to pull things like Iron Man. They have these moments where they're absolutely dominant, and you're saying, oh, man, this team is one of the top teams in America. I see why now. It's just about consistency for them. I want to see the consistency. I know they got what it takes, but we'll see what it looks like today.
There's always like a team in sports that like do well when the back's against the wall. And yeah, Sentinels is one of those at that. They do on the scale from like, yeah, we lost to them, like how crazy are their comps? It's maybe like not that far, but they're a bit towards the meta a tad more, but they do play some wonky stuff. And I think it's interesting because with that, you kind of never know what you're going to get with them, quite literally in the team comp and then obviously in the how they play. But yeah, man, the names, we know what they can do and what they put together. Now, FlyQuest Sentinels, it was 1-1. Then 2-1, FlyQuest ended up taking a nail biter. But Shib, best of 5 changes that story massively.
Yeah, absolutely. You get into the band phase a little bit more. You start understanding what their goal is as a team. And a lot of these teams have like a unified goal. That's typically when teams are performing well. If they've got one set, like one plan in mind and everybody unifies around it. But, you know, another crazy thing to call out is this was a crazy heater last time they matched up. But it's going to be essentially Sen facing an old teammate in Techie, buddy. And we didn't really discuss that yet. That's got, you know, there's got probably a little bit of bad blood. Not in a bad way. Not, you know, I know they love these players as friends. But if I were Techie, I'd want this one even more. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. When you have like half the team, literally half the team coming back, one retired, right, in a sense, and then you then have the opposition in Techie, and there's so much to play for, especially because FlyQuest brought Techie on. He's really fit the shoes well, and man, that is what makes stories great, and that's what I'm excited to see when you push it all together. Not to mention Velocity played with Amazing last year and Korova on Dark Zero, right? So like a lot of, you know, the more you get into an esport year, the more you kind of have a mix in this roster mania. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a matchup. Can you imagine either of these teams out not making LAN? It's tough for me to do that, and it's going to be the case for one of them.
I know, and it's going to get just harder and harder as we go forward through this, but I'm with you. I mean, this first matchup, for me, this is kind of the match of the day that I was looking forward to. I think these teams are pretty even just in the grand scheme of things as a whole. I think they both have moments where they look unstoppable, so it's really just about showing up in this moment, and I think it rivals as a whole in this pro scene is about just, if you're under the bright lights, whoever shows up on that day is typically the one who takes it home, so this should be a good one.
No, for sure, man. And it's definitely going to be interesting what these teams have kind of cooked up, right? Because it's fun. Listen, it's fun to punch tickets to land and get excited. I think, though, when your back's against the wall and you got nothing left but to go out swinging, that's when you see the true grit of these players, right? Those interviews a bit more serious. Yeah, you know, not as nonchalant when you get the win on a clutch domination. That's what we will see today. The map choice number one, folks, we're taking you to Wakanda. The Wakanda Warrior Falls will be where we decide this first bit of the battle, man. How fitting.
Oh, Burn It T'Challa. This is a great map. This is a storied map. If you're choosing Dom, a lot of the teams elect to run this map, but granted, this is going to be what, I mean, it sets the tone. We talk about how domination, if you get the point early, statistically, you got a better chance at winning at least that specific map on Dom. So it's always about these first fights. If you're rooting for a team, now's the moment to get hyped up. You really want them to lock in, but you know, what we've been seeing from these teams, I would say in the playoffs, is they kind of start off a little on their heels, a little nervous, and then it takes them a map or two to lock in.
For sure, man. Killmonger versus Black Panther. You choose who is going to represent the villain role in this one. And Shib, we take ourselves to the pick ban here in just a moment. And, you know, FlyQuest play a lot of interesting things, especially in domination. They flex Melio into what was mainly a Wolverine, is what we got to see from him in this patch. And then he would flex to that kind of Adam Warlock in Ultron, which he did back in the Citadel, I believe, days of last year. So, you know, they also have some tricks up their sleeve as well. When you go against the bans and you look at what they've had banned against them, the most for each team, Luna was banned 3 times against Sentinels. Mantis obviously is going to be right there in the conversation, as well as Rocket. But we've been seeing a lot more Rogue and Ultron in the mix as well. Do we think we see more of the same?
Yeah, I think for now you see more of the same. It's all about really what they're seeing in scrims, right? Like Sentinels, they typically default back to that triple strat line if they're just feeling uncomfortable, right? It's like as soon as things start going awry, they try to find a way to make a triple comp work. I'm not saying it's always the correct decision. I'm not saying it's always the wrong decision. It's kind of, it just depends on how they look after that change, but it's been very consistent. So yeah, getting rid of this Mantis makes a lot of sense to me.
It gives a much better chance to not see Rymazing on the strategist, which we always want here for sure. Gambit being saved is going to be the usual. For me, man, Tuzi is the guy to kind of make sure you take care of. Obviously, Elsa and Winter Soldier, he plays great, but that's because he didn't have access to the new hero in Cyclops. I don't think you can allow him through, Shib. So we'd like for them to focus on that way. I think we're going to get a lot more strategist bans, though, out of these two teams than the usual.
Yeah, that makes sense. Exactly. It's just to shut down some of that chaos stuff when it comes to those triple backline compositions. FlyQuest has got some really good comms. Sentinels, like we were just saying, is very comfortable on that. We're going to see the removal of the Rogue there for the side of Fly. There is a Cyclops ban. See, I've been loving that ban. I think Cyclops is the current raid boss. I'm not sure if the patch will address that coming up next week, but yeah, he's a huge problem. I mean, he's just been dominating lobbies in this, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. And this is interesting because, again, this is, at least on the homework I had written down over here, I felt like FlyQuest was going to target the strategist, and then you go on the Sentinel side, and it's like kind of take down their best players, right? Like, try to settle. Obviously, there's a lot of great ones over there. That's why you get the every now and then the Hulk bans on someone like Card. But they are going to try to protect their side in the White Fox. Kurova coming in for Oasis. You know, obviously, we know him as the Golden God guy. Listen, he's been nothing but White Fox lately, so it's good they protect that for him.
Yeah, and he was running the Invis tube, which is obviously taken away here from Fly. Fly is very much targeting strategists, like you just discussed. I think it's, you know, not a bad idea. I think, again, their idea is, hey, if we get ahead of them early, we make them panic, and they don't have an option for this triple comp. That's our go-to right now. So they kind of were forced to keep Fox, which I don't think is a very common strategy nowadays in the playoffs. I don't think it's that much worth it, especially if they do run some more poke stuff. Fox really doesn't excel that much. The final removal going to be Star-Lord, which you and I have talked about yesterday. I think is a great ban. I think he's an absolute problem right now.
Man, this is such an interesting pick, right? To go like, which side do you like more? Because then you also can see they're saying, hey, Crimso, play Rogue. You're the only one on the team playing Rogue. If you don't want to play Cap, that's fine. Yeah. They're going to leave that open. And you're right. I mean, at least Sentinels got to play this backline, you know, a lot yesterday. We saw how they did. It kind of struggled, if we're being honest, against, yeah, we lost. But you know what? Sentinels have a good kind of idea to shut down that strong front of what is probably going to be, you know, Tuzi playing that, and then Melio having more of that flex strategist role. So I think they're like, hey, we're not going to allow you to have like an ultimate damage carry hero and force you to play more traditional.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And like you're saying, I think it's just worth readdressing. I just don't think they're that worried about, okay, showing Dongmin actually on the rogue. I was going to say they're not too worried about the rogue pick. So I actually like this because it's switching up here. I was going to say, I don't think that they are that confident on the rogue pick just as a whole as a team, which is definitely a weakness, right? You exploit that in the ban phase. So Dongmin making the change there. But I love the Crimson cap. I think that is a huge take here for Sen to essentially play like a flex strategist.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm going to keep it a buck, right? Yusher has to have a great day. Didn't have a great one yesterday. We know how good Yusher can be. Obviously, Vision is on the bench, right? And so, like, if you have Vision on the bench, that means who's starting is amazing. Got to see him absolutely rise up. And to your point, yeah, you got to take care of meta heroes. Dogman going back to Rogue. So, hey, nothing like the biggest game of this entire Sentinels roster's career to try something new here. As Dogman has not played a lot of that. Can't pull Magneto Penny more in the flavor of them. But here we go. It's going to be fist out brawl heavy to start us out, Chip.
Yeah, and folks, yesterday, the first one was an absolute heater. Will it happen again? Cozy and I, that's pretty good luck here. Let's see if this works out. Velocity going to be playing on that low. Gambit getting through the ban phase for days. Amazing going to find two as Yusher cleans up one on a Melio. Goodbye to everyone, Amazing. Don't need to be on strategist when you're like this on the DD.
Yo, Amazing is like one of the craziest up and down players. Like, we know how good he is, right? We talk about it all the time. There'll be games we're like, oh man, you know, I was hoping for more there. But every pro that talks about him, or Coach Fox, someone who's very loud in the community, love him, but very loud, often says, Amazing's amazing. And we know he is, right? And it's stuff like that. Just right at the gates, playing loose there on the blind lawyer to get it done. And wow, what a statement to open up ship.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that Amazing flexes a lot because of the talent. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like they're using him and they're like, oh man, I don't know where to put him. It's more so like, hey dude, can you do this for us, right? That's the real conversation here as we see Dongmin just holding the space, 30%. They're gonna have to touch point, and they do, halfway captured from Fly. Their goal now is to try to get it to that 70% number. Dongmin looking to find a pick, but instead pays for it. Tuzi on the hit scan.
Yeah, good little picks there to start out. Obviously, getting that pick on Kurova is huge early because you're going to slow down that Kumaho Unleash for a while now. And it's a quick take back, man. I mean, outside of Amazing snowballing into the wipe, that was as clean as you get. They do have a couple things here to team up. They want to go with either the Gambit with Yusher on the Cyclops, or just try to make... I mean, look how fast Crimso's got that cap online as well. So we'll see kind of how they choose to approach this. That's going to slow them down.
Yeah, it's a trade back and forth, but I think it's a nice pick, actually a trade in the favor of Sen to drop cart there because Cap is just so valuable with that ultimate. We'll have an advantage here. Techie gonna launch that towards backline. Looking at Flamey, who's still gonna stay healthy even through the chaos. Whole team regroups and retakes as they come back. 30% here for FlyQuest. Kurova did find that pick last time on cart, but we see something again. Raging Royal Flush gets launched. Is it gonna be matched here? At least not right now. Fly actually not on the hero for the moment. It's switching it up.
Kind of interesting on the approach they had there. Didn't get any value from it, but either way, trying to find something here. As there goes the Glartrox. It came out with the full actual mouth of everyone you would want. Crypto off the map. Goodbye. Absolutely no one going to survive that one as Tuzi got himself in the rival scene to down Thanos in Amazing. It is FlyQuest right now making this point theirs. 60% in climate ship, but hey, Sentinels have plenty to respond.
Yeah, Tuzi on the stat line just, and any hit scan at this point is just a problem. I mean, that was a huge haul. Finding Flamey mid Raging Royal Flush in the Glartrox off map is like as textbook massive clutch moment as you could possibly have here. The regroup from Sen, they will have ult advantage, but just slightly as Cart starts them towards the front line of Sen. It's going to be matched back and forth here as Dongmin and Amazing launch ults. Kurova still holding on with Yusher as both teams are heading towards that point, but 85% here for Fly. It's a good number to start off at.
Very interesting use there of the Captain America ult. You already had your strategist close to ult, right? So you're not going to benefit off getting that extra ult charge, but I was going to see Dogman maybe was going to use the ult there on Rogue to take that back even further. Kind of this battle of the ultimates, right? One boosting the ult, one taking away, but either way, maybe Kurova going to launch up the Kumaho. It's 99% and up, even though Sentinels looked hot out the gate. It has been the main quest for this team in FlyQuest now. Making it a lot harder for them to just give this up. I mean, they have so much to use. Yusher's had this Ruby Rage, which he finally uses for an Eternity ship.
Yeah, Tuzi gets another pick early on in these fights, and that's just the mainstay of the story right now. Tuzi cannot be stopped. Looking for Kurova now. Going to find two, but Kurova in the trade drops Melio. Another pick coming in from Techie back on Dongmin. It looks like the numbers are still going to be in favor of Fly. Make it one more. Tuzi, somebody stop this guy as Techie and Cart are going to clean up the rest of the squad. The portal play needs to come through from Rye, and it does. And here goes the retake. Glartrox goes out. Goodbye immediately to Dongmin and Rye.
Dinner time, love. My God, absolutely disgusting. 3 off the map just like that. I mean, dude, with that opening, man, it reminds me of like Dragon Ball Z. You have just all the energy blast going after one of the Saiyans, and they just kind of wipe the shoulder and just do everything back towards them. And that is what FlyQuest just committed from, man, their Super Saiyan in Tuesday. My God, what a show.
Yeah, I mean, they lost point, what? It was only like 40% before the retake. And I mean, at that point, it's like you really didn't have point for that long at all. So well done by Fly to regain control and just consistently after that find value. You see the switch here, folks. Kurova going over to the Atom. A tale as old as time at this point, and everyone loves to see it. I know there are going to be some Sen fans in the chat who are stoked right now, but the only ult available at the moment is going to be Flamme. That should give them potential first fight advantage.
Yeah, and let's hope they get a bit more value out of that Flamme ult. Didn't get as much last time, but I do like the way that this is going to kind of cycle with Crimzo, right? They have a good chance to win first point here pretty handsomely. Kind of crazy when you look at the stats. Two things that jumped out to me. Amazing stats kind of crawled to a halt after that opening sequence, but man, the Rogue, are we feeling it, Shib? I don't know, man. It feels like it's somewhat forced, but new in such a big moment. Tough call.
Yeah, it's tricky, man, because, you know, they forced Rogue ult out after Cap had already started the charge, so it's like almost like a moot point, right? Like where you're going to get that ult charge gain at the same time that you're losing, and it didn't stop Cap from starting off the fight, so it wasn't that valuable. It was unlucky timing, as Flamme is going to start up here with the Raging Royal Flush, but already Yusher is down. Fly up a number. It's not what you want to see as the Raging Royal Flush gets committed. Kark going to answer it right back. Dongmin, though, able to find one on the Zelos. Tuzi is going to find another pick, always on this KO feed, and it's just not stopping right now on a massive flank, looking at the spawn door.
Yeah, I mean, Yusher's absolutely just getting picked on now with a TP to open. We kind of blasted the past, right, with those pity mines, the kidnap TP that we saw back in the day. But just like that, the point is not taken quite yet. And this team's just trying to get all together. Leading them is the first Avenger in Crimzo. He's the leader of this team, the coach as well, as we know. Dogman now just trying to suck these ults down and find some value on the Rogue, which I think you're going to get a bit better of angles with him and pick potential. One thing, though, Rogue has is the survivability of the Southern BA. Just does not go down, Chip.
Yeah, nobody's even got point yet, so I like that out there. You should try to keep yourself a little more healthy on point and force them off so you do get this retake. Right, amazing. Making the switch over to Ultron, and again, I don't think it's a conversation of he wasn't playing well. It's more so, hey, can you do this for us? As we see Crimzo take out Tuzi. Kurova reses back in. Zelo's going to start off with a Kumiho Unleash and take that point back into the Ruby, but no one goes down just yet. Kurova with the res available.
Yeah, and, you know, that's what allows you to have this triple sub, right? If you're not going to have the Mantis, you at least have to have the Ultron, and Ramezi does step up to the role. Either way, though, this point not being taken is just absolutely what we want to fight here, man. These teams are fighting against each other for this spot to move on forward in that lower bracket. Kark finds the best of the other Avenger. What an absolute show there, as there's dinner time again, buddy. He has not come up empty once. It is absolutely starving.
Yeah, I mean, just really well done there. Good patience, waiting to find a way to get value twice on the pick and also shutting down an all. Tuzi is just getting so many finals. Kark gonna get another. Melio finds Crimzo, and the point will finally be capped here by FlyQuest.
Wow. I mean, disgusting. This is why, I mean, we kind of talked about this before, that Elsa was already in a good spot, got in a better spot, especially because the buff they gave her to her passive is bigger than people think, right? Because it's the damage that's going to help that Hunter instinct.
Agreed.
Obviously, you know, not dying is big and protein, but being able to farm that back up with the damage, massive here as we see him full Hunter instinct. That means those cooldowns, those dashes, the survivability, everything is there that you're looking for as Dogman gets a pick now too.
Well done, Dongmin is definitely showing up now with a Rogue more so than round one. Able to find two there as it's answered immediately by Velocity. And folks, you may be saying, why are they strat ulting? It's just a stall. They want to get as much percentage as they can as Dongmin finds the third pick. The numbers should go in their favor. They should recap now at about 45-ish% in a moment here as they're all going to fall. I might have nailed that. No, just a little bit under, but still, I mean, well played there by Sen on the retake.
Dude, I mean, Rogue is not asking for space. She's absolutely taking it every which way. The Southern tank taking over, which exactly what we wanted to see from Dogman there. Now, plenty of opportunities. This is actually a nice ult that Dogman can get here. Maybe not on Tuesday, but Zelos at the very least. Kind of slow down that backline. Tuesday, though, going up again. That Solartrunks this time is going to need some glasses. Not going to get anything of that from it, buddy, but they're just pushing aggression. I like the play.
Yeah, sometimes it's worth just using Rogue to try to buy some space. I'm not sure if it was as valuable there. They potentially were thinking about bonding and walking forward. Yusher, Kurova, Crimzo with ults available. Zelos and Techie going to be there for an answer right now, but the Raging Royal Flush is very close here in combination. Crimzo going to start off with a huge, I like this Freedom Charge a lot, and counter, trying to get to the strat line, but no, Kurova still falls there. It doesn't look like Selfred's going to be available. Yusher going to combo up with Flamme. Is that going to be enough to pick off this back line? We're diving back. They will. Velocity goes down. Do I see more? I do. 3 go down. down here for Fly, and now Sentinels will have point advantage at 50%, excuse me, and climbing.
Yeah, dude, and forget about Glass Cannon build. They're going full defense comp, man. With Flamme using that ult, they still now have the full res, you know, born again, win again. Amazing having that option as well as why triple sub goes so well. We know this. We talk about this all the time. It's tough to get the first point, but when you have that shib, I mean, this is a tough defense to break, man. You're talking two of the tanks in the game that are some of the hardest to take down. Amazing now activating the ult, keeping the team the pressure alive. There it is.
Yeah, it's going to shove them right back. This is really good play here from Sen, just forcing them into the choke as Melio tries to do the same here. Uses ult. Velocity gets the first pick onto Dongmin, and there's that res from Korova. Everyone back in the fight. It's not going to matter now. The whole team's going to want to send it, and then Card's going to walk forward here with the Freedom Charger, try to get them there. As the res comes through, everyone should be back now. Korova finding Crimzo, amazing Flamme, but the pressure has been forced in from Fly. No ults here. It's going to be neutral. Who gets the first pick in this chaos? It looks like it will be Techie onto Crimzo. Velocity has the dance floor ready, and Fly will retake this point after some time.
Yeah, you know, the mind games are incredible. I think Tuesday going to Psylocke is absolutely huge here, man. It does answer this comp well. What they made in changes to the triple stuff was going to answer that Elsa, and just like that, you're seeing the dance of the butterflies slice one at a time, turning that Ultron to Windows 97 quickly. Crimson now back on the portal, buddy, ready to rock and roll, and they're back around the corner again with these ults, man. It's crazy. Flamme, Yusher, and Dogman ready to rock.
Yeah, it's tricky. They're really betting all their eggs in one basket here when they are going to just make this portal play happen early on. I'm going to use it a little bit on height for a POV, as we can see Amazing trying to use that for cover. I actually like that play. Usually I don't like to see portals in the sky like that, but if you have an Ultron, that makes some sense. Dongmin trying to get that ultimate available. Yusher has it and is waiting for Flamme. That combo could win them this round. Velocity going to drop one now as Crimzo falls. No portal to get back to the fight. It's all about this combo. Here it goes. Will this work out? Techie was forced to use ult, so now this gets even more value. They're going to try to play in the dance floor. Everyone stacking on top. Tuzi drops her amazing. Yusher gonna take out Melio as Cart gets the next pick on a Flamme. Goodbye to that combination. And FlyQuest are trying to shut this down, but Dogman and Yusher find two. Velocity gonna drop Yusher, and Cart finds Korova, and it might be a matter of time. It's gonna be a forced touch. Dongman still doing a great job holding here as the portal comes back this time for Fly.
Yeah, they're gonna have one portal, one not. I mean, cards are out, the damage is loaded, but one team kind of folding on the side of Sentinels, but Crimson gets that pick up Velocity. Hello here. Yes, portals can be a big play, right? Amazing close to the Age of Ultron. Gonna make it his now as he's gonna rain down the blast. Bottom of the point. Now, any point, no one can step out. Got that portal play. Good rotation from the team. Right, Mason just trying to get that pressure on Melio. Good point now going after Right Amazing. Shit, this is looking close. Korova, can he get the point again? That would be the clutch factor.
I don't even know how Ryan Amazing lived through that. Crimzo going to find the first pick on a Zelos, and that is massive. Goodbye to a huge gambit, but no! Flamme goes down. Cart says, I'll do the same thing. Both Caps going to find the gambit now. The tackle comes through. Ryan Amazing goes down. Tuzi going to find another. Korova brings everyone back in, but Tuzi drops Korova. Will that all keep going and clean up the rest off the res? Not sure that's going to be the case just yet. It has been a battle on this point right now as Dongman takes out Techie.
Can you believe this fight? This is only round 2, and it seems like it's the Grand Finals limit, the elimination round itself. But no, here comes the Jeff that you would barely notice came into play for Velocity. Swap from the Luna over to the Jeff. Amazing up, getting Tusi out. That's a pick of a lifetime now as the pressure is on. Sliver on the point. Nothing taken yet. FlyQuest has to remain on it. Melio, how is he alive? Are you joking? He's going to finally maybe get this point, but no. Crimzo still in the business. Dogman trying to find more of those angle picks. Crimzo gets another. Melio down. It's up to Card. Card's done. A point is Sentinels.
Oh, man. Come on, dude. Are you kidding me right now? What a map 2 here by these teams who are playing like this is the grand finals. Wow, this has been a pleasure to watch. Come on now as we go to map 3.
And that's the heart I want to see out here. You know what I mean, man? Like, the stakes couldn't be higher. You've played now for what? 4 or 5 months in this pro scene. You've gone through the preseason. You've done group stage. You've shown who you are. You've changed rosters. Half of that at FlyQuest. And you look at what you have and you try to make the changes and show up on game day. Both teams are doing that, buddy. 1-1. Wakanda is absolutely putting on a show as we look at the stats, buddy. Look at Cart, 11, 20 for Tuesday. Disgusting.
20 for Tuesday is just insane, dude. That's insane. It's not like it's playing Bucky or anything like that where you just guarantee those finals. That's just all natural hit scan ability. Well done by Tuesday, but yeah, across the board, alt advantage wise, this is going to be Sentinels' fight to lose off rip here. We know how important these first fights are.
Yeah, now, you know, FlyQuest has a comp that I think not halfway through they're trying to adjust, right? Something to match what Sentinels is, going to play the same. Obviously, ult advantage is massively favored to Sentinels. And if you look at rotation, man, they're going to be able to play around with the cards, get the damage loaded, and go with your amazing next. By then, Kurova's up and loaded. So here we go. They're not going to wait for the Star-Lord Legendary. They're legends themselves, as they know exactly the players there. Kurova gets the pick on Techie. That's going to be a Sentinels win on first point.
Yeah, I like that commitment with Rogue with the team up. I mean, it's enough of a raid boss to walk forward and just apply way too much pressure to that back line. A lot of CC potential as they're looking to take point here. It was almost back capped. I like the idea from Cart there. Is going to try to drop back to that team and reset. It might buy them enough time to be able to touch here before the actual capture comes through. We'll see if that works out. No, it will not. All still available for Yusher and Rymazing. No answers yet for Fly. Sentinels could find some big value right now.
Yeah, we got a lot of first-timers here for some heroes, especially at least in this meta. And obviously, the Hella being such a big pick we talked about yesterday, why Phoenix is kind of taking a step back because just having that middle ground of damage, you just get outbeat by something like a Winter Soldier, and you want to have that range that you have as a hit scan. That's why Hella being played so much at an angle. But you know who else can do that, buddy? The Golden God coming back. Kurova goes up and down with the meta in his playstyle, but when Adam is here, he's here to shine. And did get a nice tiny buff at that in this last patch. Showing it.
Yeah, that looked like a very aggressive Sia, but just the idea of them looking at that for 0.2 seconds, they all got exploded as Kurova is looking to res back himself. Crimzo finds Tuzi. Kurova goes down once more to Techie. 43% is not a bad retake here for Fly in a situation that was dicey, and they're still holding on for the moment. Up in the sky goes Melio, who, yeah, at this point, I think the point is theirs.
Yeah, but this is why the stats didn't show at the last round, even though they wanted to. It's like the eliminations may not be there for the team, but they're just hard to get rid of that point and just get them off the windshield. It's the bug that never stops, and Dogman now close to it. It feels like Kurova has been getting this this res now for quite a while. He did just use the passive. Obviously, great job by Techie hunting that down. He ought to use the Heaven Falls maybe into the symbiote of the Abyssal beast there, but they're going to start with Tuzi ult. I like it, but they're all together, so I don't think there's going to be the value. Hello, never mind.
Oh, man. How does he do it? Tuzi finds two there in a situation I thought he was for sure in trouble post-ultimate, but Velocity, Techie with ults available here. Dongman and Yusher to try to shut that down. Kurova with the res. Flamme going to be close. There's a lot of play potential at this moment. Fly going to try to bank on using Velocity, potentially Dry and Techie to try to shut down something like the movement from Flamme with that Heaven's Descent. Here comes Velocity with the Dry ultimate, and they are going to commit heavy.
Yeah, they're going to go and give that to Techie. Just say, Assassin, you go hunt up there. The One-Wing Angel finding more. And yeah, I love that play of Cart and Tuesday combining, giving them so many options. Sentinel, though, this is their time to shine. Did not decide to use the Legendary with the cards. Damage boosted or not. That's by Melio to get one, but that's Beaver out right back with the Rocket. Again, all those strategies banned on the side of Sentinels. Did a great job in the pick ban phase, making them very limited of what they can do, Shiv. And it's showing right here, 78% or 70% closing in here on this point.
All right, we see now again, Fly takes it back, and then the same story as last map. Sentinels retakes roughly at a similar percentage and puts it back into a map point as Dongman now tries to get the pick onto the back line, is able to find Velocity with Yusher's help. Kurova's still holding on to that res. Zello's going to be very close to the Sia. That combination with the Feast of the Abyss from Cart could be a huge sweep at that back line as Rymazing has the rage.
So many things to look out here for Shiv. Crimson with his ult, right? Obviously, then they'll be able to boost that up to get Flamme back to his, have all three. So at this point in time, it's like try to keep this fight sustained as long as possible. Crimson wants to play aggressive, but obviously not too much to get picked out. Yusha getting that early, kill or pick is going to be exactly what they want. And just like that, point rising up. Getting a little pressure in the back line is Techie, but not even Techie. I don't know who's in the back there trying to get a little pressure in it, but you'd love to see Crimson now up in the ult, ready to go.
Yeah, great soul bond there. Well done by Kurova. That was a big combination. Still able to find Dongman through that at this moment as the board again comes out, trying to bring everyone back. Kurova does fall. Self-res is available, it seems. Dongman going to likely just be coming back to the fight naturally. Kurova back in the fight now. That ultimate is not going to be very effective at all, but a good idea. Tuzi very close to one more Cutterfly. 99 here for Sentinels. This is the exact same layout we saw last time as Dongman makes the change and goes over to the Venom. Dive towards the back line, is able to find one, but Yusher takes out two. Velocity comes back from the BRB. Rymazing going to find Techie. No. Melio brings back everyone on the board again. Kurova drops Tuzi once more, and Velocity holding on to a huge ult. Here it goes for the final fight of this round.
These DPS All-Stars are shining as Yusher finds more with Tuzi to match, but Melio being the shining star in the back, the Golden God making all that pressure come back as the team slightly now with the edge, with the victory at their grasp.
Wow.
There's one slipper left. The portal comes out. Can they touch? They can't, Shib. It's be FlyQuest taken off in round 1.
Yeah, they are absolutely. So, I mean, dude, that was just so much fun to watch. Shout out to both of these teams who you can tell do not want to go home today. Well done by both squads. FlyQuest playing clinical there. I think that early 45% or so was enough for them to push forward, taking it back all the way to 77. Retake on the final fight with some ults, and that was so well done, man.
Yeah, just at a loss for words, too, with how well they did in their counter comps and that swap on over to Adam when time needed it most. You know, they got that cap when there's about 50% on the clock and climbing, and it just looks like not only that, it looked like it was theirs with the ult advantage. Usher finding 4, but then Tuesday to match with that res. Disgusting, folks. Buckle up. It's going to be a matchup between these two historic orgs in the rival scene. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Bro, what a match to get thrown into first. What the fuck?
Bro, wow. That was insane. Dude, we got to mention Melio going at him and then getting like a fucking 6-person res at the end there. That was so sick.
That was disgusting, bro, because Kurova was popping so much so
yeah, that final ult was brutal, though. Yeah, I thought he was doing really good.
누워진 밤하늘을 가로질러 Oh yeah, oh yeah 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야 운명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작해야 let's go 아둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸는 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고
Hello and welcome back. What a hot round 1 and hot mics, baby. You gotta love the passion behind it, man. Hey, listen, dude. I don't know. I think it was Iron Schmib and Schmozy there that took over in the multiverse.
Yeah.
That wasn't us. That wasn't us. Couldn't it be, right?
Couldn't be us, my man. But what a fun match right there. Those guys put everything on the line. We talked a bit about just that huge res at the end from Melio. I think that was potentially round winning for them. It was like a 6-man res, so super well done. Both of these teams, though, they're not letting up. Lot of heat.
Yeah, man, last chance to take this down. Listen, I got to say, it was exactly what you wanted to see from Domination. Obviously, I think in different game modes, going to highlight something to play. Like, I don't know, do they give the Rogue again? But does Dogman even play that? Does he go more towards the Penny that we've kind of seen, them roll? Either way, though, I don't think this is going to be a 3-0. This is not going to be anything like a sweep. I think both these teams have so much grit out of them. What do you want to see change, though? Because I feel like, there's going to be a lot of back and forth. It's going to look like Mystery Heroes if you try to, hover over one player with how many quick swaps and, honestly, flexibility they have.
Yeah, it's difficult when it comes to what I want to see change, because I think Fly they have a strategy here. I think their strategy is just hardcore ban out strats and try to throw them for a loop. So when they are uncomfortable, they really don't have an option. They were essentially running the Ultron without the Mantis just to try to find a way to get to that triple with the Atom. I'm not sure I loved it as much. So I think for Sen, we got to try to potentially have a more comfortable 2-2-2, but also like 2Z was just a raid boss out there. I mean, look at this stat line here, 54-11.
Yeah, absolutely disgusting. And just going exactly, what is needed and called. Having Elsa and Psylocke at the hands, plays a disgusting Winter Soldier as well. Got to take a look at the stats, though, across the board. Whether you heard it going over the highlights or right when Shib opened up there, but it was the incredible swap with Melio going over to Adam Warlock. I thought Kuroa played a tremendous job on Warlock himself. And hey, what did I say when we opened up? Melio needs to play his best for them to have the best chance to get through this lower bracket, and we did see a really great chance to shine. Anything you want to kind of highlight here, Ship, as we look at the stats?
I mean, across the board, again, I think Melio popped over to that Atom and made it look like he's disgusting on Atom. I think it looked really strong off the switch. I think, again, that res won the game. But yeah, statistically, if you're looking at the stats, I mean, 28 finals. But I think that has to be the most I've seen in the group stage playoff. I think 26 was the most I'd seen before. We can have production double check that. But that's wild. Again, not a Bucky pick, right? This is all just natural, raw finals. This guy might be him.
No, for sure, man. And it's crazy because when these two teams went up against each other, not just a couple weeks ago, again, how it went last time, it was Hell's Heaven. FlyQuest won that. It wasn't a 2-1, it was a 2-0. And where do Sentinels take them? Museum of Contemplation, where they held 1-0. And that was kind of back when the Penny was more new and people were kind of shocked by, that having that first 0.1 hold. And so either way you look at it, I think it is going to come down again to the wire and probably that map. We've made enough jokes. That is just our map too, for the most part here, Shib. And we saw even 100 Thieves take off Swamp Gaming, and they've never lost on that map. Anything can happen at the museum, man.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that's the last time, or at least the big Rye alt when it was on Iron Man, right? I mean, that maximum pulse was huge, and it was off the back of a big res. So they're not afraid of this map. I think they're comfortable. I think every team's comfortable here. I think it's one of those maps where you can be more brawly. It's very tight quarters, especially 0.1, and you can kind of just roll front to back like a unit. There's really a ton of different diversity in comps you can go there, but it looks like this map instead is going to be Midtown, and I'm a fan of this map as well.
Yeah, man, this is like a Sentinels classic. Was not expecting them to go to Midtown. We've been seeing more teams kind of look at this as an option towards the later half of the best of 5, or even into the grand finals when you kind of get deeper into the map pools. But yeah, I mean, dude, I feel like every time I go to Midtown, myself in my ranked games, but also here in pro play, it's just chaos, man, because it always comes down the wire, 0.1. It is a tougher point, I feel like, to get than people give it credit for.
Yeah, no, I'm fully behind that. But in Midtown right here, dude, I think we're going to see a lot of the triple comp. I think that is likely what we're going to see from Sentinels on their defense. They want to run that Atom, so it does kind of force Fly. Now they're thinking, hey, that Atom's going to get more value. Do we want to remove it? That's going to be a ban. Again, you're trying to use the fact that sometimes you have players that are so good on these heroes that you're forcing the team to ban those heroes so that you are able to play maybe more meta, right? Like that's kind of the idea, but off the rip, Mantis gone, both sides.
And FlyQuest is the team, for those that don't know, that did play a little Vanguard, triple Vanguard this last, yesterday, actually. And they had 2Z of all people on the Magneto. And so they do have that kind of up their sleeve. I kind of complimented them early on that they do have a lot of that flexibility rolling into it. I like the strategist bands for them. I felt like it was really strong. Do you feel like they swap anything? I mean, I think they could keep the majority of what they had, maybe swap up one of the strats they got rid of. But there's purpose behind each pick, right? Like not giving Luna, not giving Rocket. There's too much enabling with those heroes if you let the Sentinels have it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think, yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we're going to see too much change from Fly's banning front right now. It seems to be like the exact same strategy. Sentinels haven't changed too much either here. I think, again, since it was such a tight match, both teams are not really sure. And that's the beauty of best of 5, right? Like, they're going to take this next match as another just data point where they can try to adjust maybe a little bit. The save here of Rocket, you just talked about how strong Rocket is. I agree. In this meta, Rocket's a problem. And the removal of Star-Lord, yeah, Sentinels are really playing the same ban phase right now.
Yeah, and having, just that access. I can't tell you how many times yesterday we even saw with Stick Drift and 100 Thieves, like when that one res came to play, or we saw it, today with Swamp Gaming. When you have that res available, it just makes the 5v6 go back to even, and usually you can flip the odds from there. Very tough to, remain perfect. The Loki save tells me, is this forcing an Atom ban, right? Yeah, I was going to say, this feels like it forces the Atom ban. And honestly, man, I feel like Sentinels kind of wanted that. I feel like they're fine with that. They know that, you're going to have Kurova play White Fox, look at Velocity, even a little smirk from him. He's like, all right, old teammates, that was a trick from my old book in the Dark Zero days.
Yeah, agreed here. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing, but I knew that Adam was going to be removed too from Fly, just because it's just the nature of what happens on this map. But I like the Loki pick here. You can essentially be whatever you want to be. If they are going to run that Adam on the opposition, maybe you can match it back with the Loki, but likely going to be seeing the copy up of the Gambit as we start up our second match of the day together.
Yeah, so when you look at what they want to run, obviously on offense first, that's not where the Loki would come into play if they're even going to utilize that. Yusher, I mean, man, if you look at what Yusher played yesterday, it was either Star-Lord only or the Wolverine. He does play a pretty crazy wolf, win time and when it's called for. And I mean, nothing better than now. We said it going into it. Tuesday was going to play the Magneto. Here we are yet again. And when that is played, typically we've seen Card over on the Captain America to complement that as well. Actually, not a ton of Venom play from him. At times you'll get it. It's going to be in this triple. This is a pesky comp to take down, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what it looks like here. Off rip, Crimzo going to be going out with the Groot, a personal favorite Vanguard of mine. Dongman on the Rogue once again. Yusher on that Wolverine you had just discussed, I think, is a big problem. Yusher's had some huge ults on Wolf here. The pressure starts right now with Card on the high side against Dongman. Card's winning that trade, I'll tell you that much. As the dive towards backline just to force out cooldowns and likely escape.
Yeah, got to see these ults sync up a bit better. Obviously, with Yusher and Flamme on the last domination, didn't get exactly the synergy I wanted to see. Right, Amazing now on the clock. We'll see what he can pull off the Ruby Rage and more. Arch is trying to be a nuisance on the back line, and man, doesn't even need to be involved. All that when you have Tuesday hitting the left, right, left with ease. Get rid of Kurova instantly.
Yeah, Tuesday finding one there, stalling this pace a little bit. You see the strat line just holding up for now, waiting till that front line gets back. You charge off pretty quickly in terms of all charge from the back line into things like Groot, who can just soak so much damage. Card doing a great job just engaging on that back line. As soon as they're distracted, folks, if you are playing dive, just notice that the dive isn't committed immediately. It's as soon as the strategists start looking forward and things start getting distracting, so their whole team can't turn around without paying for it. And the cart retake is there, right? Amazing finds Velocity, and now Sentinels are going to be up a number in this fight.
Yeah, I like the quick soldier swap. I think it's going to answer a lot of this backline pressure that they're getting in Cyclops. Not exactly the easiest to deal with it right away. Maybe we'll swap when you get indoors. But either way, don't see Right Amazing play a lot of soldier, man. This is the hero that even though he does have so many in the pool, not one that we tend to see too much. Doesn't matter, though. Gets the 1-2 pop there from the soldier. Melio out of here. Portal going to push, always making it a 3-fight at the least here on point 1.
Yeah, a little aggro there. Typically, oh, that might be tough. I'm not sure everybody can get out of that. I was going to say, typically you try to put that portal by the ambulance because you can ensure you make the walk, but they went a little forward with it. I think they're going to force them to kind of walk out the backside of the portal, and yeah, that actually might work in Sen's favor as they will be a little bit staggered out of portal. Dongman finding Melio. Amazing looking to the sky, just barely misses that. Tries to get the clean out of Card, not going to work out. Melio self-res back. Yusher takes out Techie. Sentinels, again, going to be up a number. Velocity copies up, though. See what that ends up being. Oh, it is going to be a Born again as everybody's back in. Crimzo, Flamme finding 1-2 to try to clean up post-res. Velocity going to bring himself back. Yusher finds Card, and I think at this point, Sentinels will win this one too.
Yeah, Born again, lose again. What, 3 times? That was essentially 3 wipes. The portal coming in as to play as well with the res beacon. And you know what? I mean, that looks like a silky portal out there. You gotta, there's so many things you want to look at with the portals, right, man? Don't want them in the air, but also you want them not facing the team, eh? It's an all-you-can-eat buffet when you jump through there, and it just makes it tough to survive. But, man, they had 3 fights, and they're pushing this card fast, man. This could be tough for them to even really get a lot of pressure on. They used a lot, though. Stop Crypto ult. Would you like to see it here? Oh, never mind.
Oh, yeah, good idea to just try to hold him off point. Oh, I thought they might be able to try to the goal there was potentially to make sure they couldn't touch. I like that play. But Cart is still going to be able to get there, doing a great job maintaining that pressure. Dongman going to launch out with the Heartbreaker. Zelos matches it back with the boundary as the same as Korova. Instead, no one's going to go down. As soon as I say that, Psychi Light, Techie falls, and now Sentinels are again up a number. Point moving forward. I think this is theirs for point one. Yep, that will do it. Well done, Sentinels. FlyQuest trying to hold on, but a pretty decent push there.
I mean, just like in the World Cup, man, you see the momentum meter, right, going back and forth, and you can just tell it's maximum on Sentinels. They're setting up their strikers now to hit through point number 2, and might as well just stick with what you have. You'll see FlyQuest maybe make some adjustments here. Goes on the Gambit. The Invis, swap there, probably going to be needed. Like the card on Groot, too. This is a very good, I mean, you would know best, right? But having Groot here on the second point, so many angles, wall setups, lots to love about it.
Yeah, you want to play Groot in maps like this, like Museum, where it's more hallway-based, so you can essentially set up walls above that force eyes upwards in weird moments, and then you can land ults because everybody's essentially grouping all the time. There's not a lot of dive angles. For May, going to start off here with the Raging Royal Flush. Crystals get popped out there for Velocity on the back line. Techie and Melio holding on to ults, and Amazing going to find one, looking to repeat this and get a two-piece. There's the... Oh, it's going to be cleaned up. That's 3 for Amazing. Melio brings them all back in, though. Doing a great job on this Adam, saying it's not just Korova that can play this hero well, and I think this return will come through off the back of a massive rest. Yes, it will.
Man, these stats are going to be nuts when you have all these formations coming time after time and just feeding on it. Techie facing his former team once again, finally getting the best of it. 1-2 go down with 2 minutes on the clock. Kind of a lifetime here in the middle point. That last point always having about a minute and a half left, no matter which way you go about it, typically. Crimson, though, setting up for success. They can pair that with a couple. If you go in the ult economy, definitely favor Sentinels. Want to play aggressive here. Maybe try to get the best of Zealous early, and that would be the pick to swing the fight from the rest of the point.
Yeah, we see the next fight begin here for the side of Sen walking forward. Fly does have Cart with the Strangling Prison available. Crimson, the same story. Usher. But again, it's tough to make this happen into Loki, who can just pop crystals, keep the team healthy. Soulbond goes out now for Cart. Crimson matches that back onto the back line. It's big, but there's those crystals we're talking about. Everyone's going to stay healthy right there, and I'll drop back and reset.
Yeah, it was just a good defensive rotation and play. And, we just know how well Velocity can play the Loki. It's one of the best added here in the scene quickly. Flume going to go and get that Loki ready to roll. And there it is. Cards are flying. Damage is loaded. We'll see what they can make out of it. Usher's had this last stand for a minute trying to find the best use of it. Doesn't need it as he slices, dices, hunts down Techie, finds the best in Melio. Does fall down, but gets 2 added.
Yeah, Melio going to self-res in that moment. Dongman holding on to the Meteor M. Amazing too. There is going to be that Glartrox now. Doesn't seem to get too much value. Ruby Rage goes out for Amazing, who makes that switch over to Cyclops. And another very strong hero. Again, 40 seconds on here, and here goes Korova with the engage. Velocity going to copy up and try to make that happen right back. Through. What a throw there from Dongman onto Cart, who goes down. Velocity drops Flamme. Korova falls as well. The match comes back here from Fly, who does have res available. Dongman dropping Techie. Sen still trying to hold on as Crimzo. Has that Strangling Prism, but again, all these people falling. It doesn't matter as the Born Again comes through from Melio.
Yeah, disgusting through the slam jam there of the Meteor that we've seen. Dogman's hit so many of those in his playtime. Elio now to ring the halls of Born Again, play again, fight again. Zombies are out. Crimzo has that ult. It's the huge one to hit. It's going to be neutral play for Sentinels if they want to take the win on this one. Only last ult coming out from Techie. Zealous maybe will be able to get his shortly. Damage boosted. Tuzi finds one. This is now a 6v5 scenario. Crimzo throwing out the Desperation group up. The Groot, though, getting not a lot of success there as Roy Mason does find one ship coming down the wire.
Yeah, as we're still in OT, it's ticking down ever more. Flamme does have copy up. We're going to see that come through. Portals following here. And this time from the side of Dongman. Points moving forward. Can Sen keep this dream alive? Melio on the off angle. Not able to make much happen over there for now. Zelos is playing with Tuzi now, and they retake quickly. Tuzi gonna find right. Amazing, and this might be the return they needed. OT gonna be tight here. Dongman tries to hold on. Crystals are massive. That's a huge Glartrox now. Walking back with 3, and Tuzi doing what Tuzi does as Usher finds Velocity. I'm not sure it'll be enough here. The cleanup comes out. Flamme tries to get on that point, and that should do it. What a hold.
What a clinic there by Tuzi. Don't even need the cam for the reaction. You already know he's just simply resting like Thanos does and looking at a grateful universe. That is the team of FlyQuest as it cleans up point number 2. Man, that's crazy too. If you saw what they had available, Kurova was moments away from ult. You had Rai fall with 10% left. Now, I will say this. We saw the same thing happen at Museum of Contemplation when they fought last time, but Sentinels held them to point 1. Will we get a repeat ship? Will it be the same thing here in Midtown?
Yeah, this has been fun so far. Really good defense. I mean, a lot of teams hold right there on point 2. It's just a very defensible position. You have quicker spawn. We talked about yesterday how it's like these small advantages at this level of play are just ever more important. Teams really find a way to just like capitalize on them. So well done by Fly to make sure that works out for them. I think the Loki play on both sides has been pristine. You can look at the stat line here, but Flamme coming out on top on the heel front with 25K.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, it's always that Winter Soldier in the chat. Like, I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job here with the 14 final hits, slamming down on every board again. Left and right and center, buddy. But yeah, I mean, listen, the All-Stars are showing up. It's exactly what you do want to see from it. And the stats are showing too. And Flamme having a much better, cleaner game this time around. And we'll see here as Sentinels are going to look to make this one tough. Usher is going to take the role of that Magneto. And, you know, man, it's crazy just how each patch can change what the triple comp looks like, because I don't think we've seen the same triple Vanguard comp look the same, yeah, meta over meta.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's fun. It's fun when it has to be different. Obviously, the bans are going to definitely take a part in that for now, as Cart is holding this high side, looking to dive back. And there's the play, but it's going into Rhyme Amazing on the White Fox, who does a great job in this trade. He's just going to stand there and just wail back into him and stay healthy, force backwards. But pulling out that cooldown is big here for Cart. Didn't lose too much HP. Fully healed up off crystals, but that's a big cooldown pulled out now. It's going to keep that pressure on and know that Kurova's the next target, but a great job Dosey doing. Patty caking that back line.
Right now, I mean, FlyQuest took off. No turbulence at the moment. Usher finding that pickup velocity, though, should slow them down a bit. May's going to get a piece of the pie as well. Should give time now to get the whole team back together. But they slowed down. Love the pick and the swap over for the front to back here with the Punisher and the Winter Soldier. They're really able and enable them for Cart to do his job in the back line. Just pump out all that extra damage. And speaking of, man, Zealous pumping up the team. That shotgun doesn't need any extra help as it finds the tree, cuts it down quickly, and my gosh, Sentinels fall all at once.
Yeah, well done there. The Sentinels are just going to be down not only in numbers, but ultimate advantage too. Well done by Fly to not commit too much. Zello Sia was huge. Velocity going to be close on that copy. Techie, Melio, Tuzi, and Card with ult. And the only answers at the moment are going to be Crimzo and Rymazing. Rova not even close here. Post ult as Usher will potentially get to this Meteor M. You want to try to stop the Strangling Prison. I'm not sure it will be there. You need 10%. And that Strangling Prison coming from the side of Crimzo doesn't look like it got much. Like I lied, Usher able to drop Tuzi. That's a big pick. Here's Melio now coming in hot. Trying to deal a ton of damage into some of these group walls. Sia still up in the sky. Tuzi gonna find 2. Following up now with a Kraken impact. Melio's able to drop Crimzo, and that could be point 1 here. Looks like it will be. The portal comes through for the touch, but it doesn't matter. Well done from Fly.
Brother, we've all been there as a Magneto. Usher was at 99% on the Maggle, but it was too late. The judge, the jury, and certainly the executioner were already out there. Oh, man, that's the worst, too, because you know your assignment, right? What you can do to step up and just unable to get it. Going to make the quick swap. Now, Dogman taking over for the Magneto, going back to more traditional comp. But yeah, sometimes we always say it, like, ult rotation just doesn't line up. It's kind of how 100 Thieves lost that first domination against Swamp Gaming. It's ult rotation matters so much, and just having those key defensive abilities. And right now, man, FlyQuest is just zooming through this point.
They're looking really strong at this moment. Took it personally off that first attack and really locked in on defense point 2. Melio gonna drop Crimzo. It's very difficult to run Groot into a strong Punisher, especially when the Sia is available for the damage boost. Just a little too much. Shotgun to just take the bark off the tree, if you will. Tuzi cannot be stopped. Able to find Flamme in the back line. I'm not sure if crystals were pulled out or trying to hold on for just a moment, but still, this point is just moving.
Yeah, man, FlyQuest, they're airborne now. Sentinels just gotta find a way to bring them down, and there's just no way of it right now. They're completely locked in, and not only that, man, look what's at the arsenal. This is going to be an absolute Helm's Deep inspiration of a defense to even try to get the hold here. They do have a few things up their sleeves. Flame's certainly going to be able to match, but look at this. Love the aggression.
And they do. Walking right through Sen, not able to touch, and FlyQuest are keeping this train rolling.
Man, they clear the runway. What a massive map win to 2-0 to start this thing. The quest is alive and healthy, and Sentinels face now an elimination matchup One more map could stop them from land, Shib. We are in for an absolute brutal heartbreak and celebration and turnaround potential in FlyQuest, man. This has just been something to see, man. What do you think of this map, though, and just the general playthrough of what FlyQuest did at the end?
I mean, it's like FlyQuest knew kind of what their plan was on this map, and they shut it down in the ban phase. I mean, on the attack, honestly, I would say Sen looked pretty strong, and then after point two, it never was back in their favor. The momentum was so heavily in favor of Fly.
Alrighty, guys. Well, no hot mics this time. You have to wait and see at the other side of this brick what we've got to say about match number 3 going underway between Sentinels and FlyQuest. We'll see you on the other side.
누워진 밤하늘을 가로질러 Oh yeah, oh yeah 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야 운명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작해야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸는 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸
So anyway, man, Netty's just the best production company in the world. Everybody should download this game. Oh, we're live. Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It is 2-0 Midtown taken by FlyQuest. And Ship, I got to say right off the bat, man, what is more shocking, the new Captain America skin, or is it that it's 2-0 right now, buddy? What's going on in your head?
I think we got a tie on that one. But no, honestly, that was weird. I didn't think Sen was playing their game there, really. Saw like a moment of brilliance from them on their attack point one. And then from then on, it was just like, I don't know. They crumbled. It's like they got in their heads. They just started falling to the power that is Fly, who just locked in and kept it moving.
Hey, listen, if we could guarantee you one thing, though, with me and you on, listen, I feel the 2-1 coming on. You know, for reverse sweep, we got a long way to go before that. You know, more turbulence has to be made at all because FlyQuest about to land this plane right into an advancement in the lower bracket. Crazy to think, bro, as we give the MVP of Velocity against his former team. And speaking of it, man, we were talking about it, right? Maze and Kurova, they've never missed a land. Like, this would be, for them as rivals, you know, certainly new territory.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. I mean, and again, now that they are truly, you know, we talk about backs up against the wall when you're on this lower side bracket, but now if you lose one more, you're done. So it's like, now you got to pull out all the stops. I really think the ban phase is throwing them for a loop. They were not expecting this. This is big brain by Fly. It's very hard for this team to try to find a way through this. So I don't know. They've got to do something creative now. They've got to find a way to shake up their bans. You know, the 2 maps have gone through now. They need to customize. They need to adjust and find a way to shut this team down.
No, for sure. I mean, looking at the stats, obviously it was looking okay in the terms of it, but they just could not stay, you know, on that cart and keep things rolling for the team. And again, I think this is maybe where we take it back to Museum of Contemplation, maybe, but it just seems off. It feels like Sentinels, they didn't really love the way they played against We Lost, and they tried to change up a lot, kind of overnight, quite literally. I mean, if you look at what they were trying to pull off in the comp, it's just completely different. And for one, it's like I almost get Rye back on the Daredevil. I mean, what do you want to see? If you go Museum of Contemplation, that's certainly on the table.
Yeah, it absolutely is, right? Like, but I know, because it's got to be Convergence now, right? Like, I think we have to go over to Convergence. But I mean, either way, I thought, I was surprised. I thought I might see Dongmin on the Penny. We know we might see something different. It's like they feel like they need to play Rogue now, and I don't know, you know, and I'm not even saying that Dongmin's not playing a good Rogue. It's that was in the rotation. I just feel like it's like they're trying to find a new solution, maybe a little bit too late in the game, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. But either way, again, I think it's all just driven by this ban phase. I think Sentinels needs to find a way to shake up the ban phase, just like what Fly is doing to them.
For sure, man. And, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, I think FlyQuest, a good chunk of them are together, I believe. And so Velocity isn't, I believe. But either way, it's like, man, the way that this team, especially like the core 3, right? Like, you've had 3 of them that has been here now since really the beginning of the year and have just kind of evolved into what they are today. And they played well against TLC. Obviously, Team Liquid Citadel is the team to beat here, but it's not like they got absolutely demolished up there in the upper bracket. And showing that they have just much more to bite here in the lower is awesome. Central Park going to be that location. Very fun map, number 3. When it comes to Convergence, you know, it's typically we see a lot of this. Sometimes Hall of the Dahlia. Not much of the other 4, though, Ship.
Yeah, you know, and I'm just thinking out loud, this could be the time we see the Iron Man. You know what I mean? There's a chance, because this isn't a bad map to hold defense on a height. You do have some of those structures to play vertically. It's not a bad Ultron map, so maybe that'll come into play in the ban phase. But again, this is a really good Penny map, so I would expect this is when we see the Dongmin Penny come out to play and shut down some of the pace, and we'll see what the adjustment comes through on Fly's side to try to handle that. This is where Sen needs to kind of go back to their ways that they found success with some of these weird comps. But if I'm FlyQuest right now, I'm not stressing. I think they have looked very dominant, at least on map 2.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I agree. I don't even know if they'll get the Penny through this. I mean, we might even see a Penny ban on it, because
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I know, man. This is such a notorious point 1, though, that you just have that pillar right on the back side of it that makes it so tough, and there's really no good angle without, you know, leaving yourself exposed, you know, to get sniped out. But man, just gonna be the ban on both sides. Clearly gonna get the Gambit save, and it might just be more of the same on the strategist front. Okay, the Luna Snow Protect is definitely interesting. This is sexy.
Yeah, I just think Sentinels, even at the end there, they weren't even running the Gambit. It's like, you know, I think Gambit's great. I think he's a very strong strategist, but if you're not able to match it to the same level, or if you're just not feeling as confident in this particular matchup, you know what I mean? Just don't even worry about it. If you're feeling more comfortable on the Luna, if you can apply more hit scan pressure with Luna, who's in a great state, and I don't think Fly's going to run full out dive onto this team. You know, typically they're finding more success with the hit scan stuff, so you're not in as much pressure. I think this is a smart play. I really like this from Sen.
All right, to answer in return, you'll have the Gambit save and return. And yeah, man, like it's not like we've seen like the craziest combinations there with the cards anyway for Gambit. So, you know, obviously going to be missing out on a couple other things. And it does have a nice answer to things like Garroot, which can be, you know, something you can work into this map. Rogue being banned yet again just continues to give compliments over to FlyQuest for picking up that hero to large success. Again, FlyQuest, really nothing has scared them to go and ground the Rogue on their side of Sentinels. Ultron ban is smart here. This is definitely a great, not only triple map, but Ultron to boot. I like the choice in the strategist with Luna not an option.
Yeah, and we're going to see exactly. We talked about the height there, right? So good call on the Ultron removal. Rocket Sia going to be staying here, and I think that has been something that's been a point of contention. I think rocket saves and rocket bans have been very important. We're going to see if Sentinels thinks that's just as important here towards the end. I'm curious what their final lock could be, but I don't think rocket's a bad. Yeah, there it is. I don't think that's a bad move. This is much better from Sen, I think.
No, for sure. The backline's going to be much more healthy and allows you to be a bit more aggressive, right? Which they've continued to be. This is the team that does adapt on the fly. FlyQuest banning Adam Warlock last. Again, I think that is a good staple ban. Kurova, you can see the W to production going right to Kurova when the Adam Warlock gets banned, just to get that instant reaction and the damn being rolled across the face. But either way, I think Rocket and Luna, they'll take it. We know how well they can play those heroes at it. It's kind of crazy though that, you know, teams are just not banning Cyclops, not banning Rogue. It just goes to show you that, you know, you've got to be ready for the meta and have those teams fear you on those heroes. And someone like Ushir usually, you know, kind of rolling up for that slot.
Yeah, we might see the combination with the Sia and the Ruby. Obviously, like Ruby Rage with Sia is a big problem. Like that is when Cyclops' ult gets more valuable. It can cut through some of those strat ults. Outside of that, it doesn't pair well. Like, you know, you can't necessarily group combine with Ruby Rage from Cyclops, because if they use any strat ult, all of them live, and it's a waste of 2 ults. So having that Sia can help cut through a lot of that, make it quick and very tough to react to. So that is an option here for Sen, and it looks like that is exactly what they're going to do with Rye.
And I love the way that FlyQuest has kind of set up this triple sup, right? Because when you have Ultron and White Fox, you need your best at it there on the Luna. That's such the important hero to kind of have as that anchor back. And if Sentinels can find the Luna quickly and velocity at that, they'll find some love. And hey, buddy, torch. We got my torch. All right, I got my torch. I get to cast again. 20 hours, been dedicating myself to the hero. He serves as such a cool bunker hero that kind of Penny had at play, and it is a crazy execution. 2 fireballs down and you are gone. 250 health is gone in a flash, 275 at that. So we'll see what they use, and Tuesday's gonna go with the bunker approach.
Yeah, setting up now. I love to see it too. Definitely unique again. I think this is one of those maps that really does play well with Flyers. Indestructible terrain that you can play around. We talk about natural cover, folks. It's playing around these walls that are unbreakable, excuse me, so you don't have to use cooldowns. And we're going to see Tuesday doing just that on that front left pillar. Holding on for the moment. Sentinels just bunkering, or excuse me, FlyQuest just bunkering as Sentinels starts the pressure. Crimzo going to be using Angela to own this height. That is a great play, and Rymazing is able to play off that. Goodbye to Zelos. There will not be a BRB. Ushur going to drop Melio, and 2 numbers down. Sentinels are walking forward, and they want to make this a 2-1 series.
Yeah, great job just playing around what was being forced to it. You know, again, Torch being able to throw down those prisons makes you play differently because you can't stand in all that heat.
Wow.
And I love the way, wow, what a cancel from Crimson, who hasn't whipped out the Angela in some time. Great awareness, smart play, and what a way to open up. Sentinels now taken back, and they are no stranger ship
Textbook
to reverse sweeps. We know that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've literally seen it together. I mean, this was a textbook play right there across the board by Sen. Just so well played. They are going to make the switch now. I think Angela's so good on point 1 there for the off-map potential and owning that height. Owned that height. Got a pick early, and they played off it and just found more and more. Dongmin going to be on that Van Pool as well, getting those levels in quickly. And you can see the shift up already from Fly. Tuesday can still be holding on for the moment on that torch, but Elio is going to be trying to poke with the Hella. There's the commitment. As Dongmin starts off with the ban here.
Yeah, biggest counters to Torch, Star-Lord, Angela, and then I guess lower elo Spider-Man. Just really tough to play against it because you have so much going countered against you. But Tuesday finding the best there with the quick hit of the shotgun blast, which is hard to hit, very inconsistent in its damage, but up close 20 meters or more and absolutely slam down. Can you tell shit, by the way, I'm pumped that Torch is being outplayed. Got so much ready for, you know, to throw out knowledge-wise. And speaking of, man, one of the more underrated ults in the game. If you can pair it up with a strategist, you can throw out absolute speed.
Yeah, and I mean, you could just turn those preset, you know, globs on the ground immediately into tornadoes and just sweep through, actually, strategy assaults with some good focus. So definitely a problem for sure. I think he's in a pretty decent space right now. And so we're seeing a little bit of play. Usher takes the height. It gets eaten for a moment. Melio able to find Crimzo, who tries to find a way away from this. Usher looking for one, but still not going to be able to make that work even with Flake. Sentinels have the point moving for the moment, but it gets recapped from Fly. An ult advantage in their favors. Tuzi starts off with the Supernova, heading right back to the spawn door.
Yeah, small things I'm looking for here. You throw a fireball as you activate. It's going to give you one more tornado. You can have 3 up at a time. You want to pair that up with these prisons, but then you can burn through strategist ults. You can actually eliminate most strategists within their ult if you hit it right, but not going to get anything of value from it. Crimzo going to go ahead and activate that ult now to get the rest of his. Really, Flamay needs to get this ult quickly here to try to compare back to the Goddess of Death. Sky finds one, slams down Kurova out of here.
Amazing. Trading that back with Tuzi. Kurova going to come back in with the BRB, and we know how much value that truly has. Getting that pick kind of gets you in the mental state that you're up, and then you find out it's been even all along, and you maybe overextend just a little bit. Rai Amazing walking forward, almost going to have this combination. Likely going to be looking for it, but doesn't even need it. Rai from downtown going to find 2 and now protect that point. Not even going to be necessary as they're walking forward. Won't have that combination with the Sia. Likely going to use it early here. Try to burn out some of the plays. Velocity has the dance floor, though.
Yeah, Sentinels to me, man, that shows the disrespect of not banning Cyclops with such great players on this side. Right, Amazing. As that Ruby Rage has not been able to hit a lot of them, slows down, throws down again. Again, no connection to it. Does force Velocity to ult, though. The show goes on. Take a look now. We got the team up comp for the Namor and Hela. Like to swap on overs. We'll see if this legend can be legendary indeed. Coming up here any moment. Farming it up now is Usher.
And the Ruby Rage was committed. It doesn't look like it got too much value there, even after the dance floor. Unfortunate for the side of Sen, but Usher, here comes that Galactic Legend, is going to be healed up, does have that focus, is looking at Techie, trying to find another. Everyone goes low, but really well done on the kite here. Doesn't matter. Rai Amazing able to drop Tuzi on the left side, is going to be 1 number up. Going to fall forward. FlyQuest doesn't have much except for the Meteor M, which could walk him out the door. Cart going to drop Kurova. Dongmin trades that back on Zello. Dongmin going to find 2 as Kurova comes back in. They get 3. Dongmin, who's popping off here on the Venom.
Holy Simeon, bro. I mean, the punishment of Kurova falling was massive. That was the show was canceled. 10% to the ult, but Dongmin getting it done. Crimzo finds another, and it is the OGs, my friend, of Sentinels getting it rolling here as Dogman and Co. push it through. Crimzo leading the charge, and just like that, the ult rotation in their favor once again. Yeah, you've got Zealous coming up with the cars, but man, Kurova close to the show. You've got the Sia online shortly, and hey, buddy, this is one straight line for that Ruby Rage to torch up the sky.
I truly do believe Sentinels saw what was happening with the ban phase and said, all right, you're going to go after all strategists. How about we get Luna, Rocket, we got Cyclops, Venom, and Cap. You know what I mean? And Star-Lord. It's like all this meta, and they're making it work here. Usher able to drop Techie again. Sentinels are making him pay for it as Usher finds 1 more. Here goes the Raging Royal Flush from the side of Fly to try to get some value back, but no one goes down just yet.
Yeah, Tomb Raider back online, though. Tuzi is on the Elsa, and that Glar truck's hungry, buddy. And this is one of those maps that on this 3rd point can get so much value. Gonna use it strictly just to burn down Flamay. Goodbye, Raccoon. Animal on animal violence quickly as Tuzi now trying to get the best of the 1v1. Yushu once more, though. Tries to fight it. Living Bullet is attached. Gonna get him low. Ooh, it's close, but it's gonna be Yushu getting the best of Tuzi on that one.
Yeah, Yushu's playing so clean right now. This is what you were looking for. Rai Amazing drops Melio here on the Cyclops and is looking at Zelos, who drops low. Velocity in the tough spot here. Dongman. And wow, honestly, the front line's looking so good with Crimzo and Dongman right now. They are just, this is the kind of dive stuff I was hoping to see from this team. I knew they had it in the bag, and it is showing up as Techie has to make the switch here to try to help peel.
Yeah, for sure. And it just, everything's really rolling their way too with the ult charge. Gonna go ahead and throw out the Sia device to get them early and booming. Usually spinning the wind, trying to find more. Again, forces that velocity ult where they've not been able to use that, you know, proactively, always reactive. And that is just such a big way to shut down a Luna that's good as velocity. Melio and Cart, though, do find 2. This will do put a little bit of a stop with 1.5 minutes. Pretty much an eternity with the portal play as well. Sure has the legendary. Probably going to hold on to it for a while here, Shib. My guess is they get a couple ults, try to get this last push of the fight in a minute.
Yeah, see, if I'm Yusha right now, though, if they're tracking, you got to send it right now. You know what I mean? Like, you got to send it right now. I don't know what the communication looks like, and that's where it's, you know, there's a lot of value in having a good alt tracker. Zelos is close, and you got to have that focus. If you can find Zelos, if you're able to find this off angle before this percentage comes through, it's game winning. So we'll see if that works out now, but it looks like they're just kind of holding on, not able to regroup in time. I think Zelos should be fine for an answer.
Yeah, man, it's tough. It's a good call out because you know, you risk a lot of rotation. There's so many corridors to hide in, and maybe that's what's having a little bit of scarcity from Yusha. But Crimzo swapping over to the one-wing Angel, and that's why he can throw off those off environments in that little bit of the stairs, and Yusha now going to activate it. There's that rotation I'm talking about, trying to hide and find cover. Techie just going to pin down the best they can, and that's what I mean, man. It's so tough to get a lot of use from that legendary with that kind of giant castle of Draken behind them. But Kurova finding that pick is going to give them plenty of space and keep on moving. But FlyQuest Jim has a lot to answer.
That was disgusting work by Techie, by the way. He had no support on the back line. Played that all by himself, so super well played. Shout out Techie. Is Amazing looking for a Ruby Rage here. Tuzi with the Glartrox. How many times have we seen that be huge today off the back of a combination? There's going to be Amazing dropping Techie with a great answer. The Glartrox goes out, but it won't last long. And they're still able to make this work out. FlyQuest down a number from now. Can they push this forward as OT ticks down? Rye looking for one. Instead, Tuzi going to find Dongmin to even the odds. The spawn is heavily close here for Fly as Car does have that feast and launches it now.
He is going to be up and out. There goes the res. Why Rock is so important. On top of that, have the strange portal to activate as well. Crimzo gets the offbeat. That's going to be the spear and the hit the boot. Very hard to get an Angela the Angela off the map. He does so to perfection. Art going to get a pick in it as well. Yusha finds more. Crimzo is just feeding down the lane of the abyss of the bottom of those stairs. Dogman finds another. Right now, no need for the portal, buddy. They're just moving and grooving and have more ults to the name. Yusha, legendary, ready to activate. Nowhere to hide now that they're all on Draco's throne. Portrait watching all through the fight. Can they make this thing a 3 down?
I mean, this is insane play here. Really well done by Sen. Yusha finds 2 here. Goodbye to Zelos and Techie. Yusha is not done yet. Flamme goes down to Tuzi. Cart falls. Tuzi gets one more. Melia goes down. And that should do it here. Sen are going to get all 3 points.
Man, take to the sky. Nobody can hide. What an absolute beauty. Textbook 3-point take in Central Park. Backs against the wall, buddy. And as I think Harvey Specter says, for those that watch Suits, it's the perfect amount of support to come out swinging if you are Sentinels and a fan of them. Taking a look at the stats, man. Yusha, we said, needed to play big today. Yeah, I'm thinking 12 elims and no, not dying once, buddy. Not dying one time. Are you joking?
Yeah, I mean, got the maximum value out of that flake. Kurova, obviously, on the Luna, going to be found 6 times, but that's just because that's just the nature of playing Luna. When they are not afraid to get on top of you with some of that dive, it's just very difficult when you lose that snowflake, or excuse me, that snowball. You just really don't have a lot of answers. So you're going to fall a few times there, but I think that flake just enabled Yusha to play lights out, and he really took advantage of it. So well done.
Dude, can I highlight that Crimzo got an off map on Techie on Angela? So you've got to get the spear
Dirty.
and then the perfect hit on that knock-in. You know, you've done, I'm sure, plenty of time. It's not the easiest thing to time, especially with that narrow gap on an Angela of all heroes. That was textbook.
Yeah, it was perfect. I mean, there's a couple off maps there from Crimzo. I really do think Crimzo and Dongmin played. You know, you may not see it on the finals front. That's why stats don't always tell the tale. Their distraction, their coordination on that front line was lights out in this matchup. I think the whole team, honestly, got the pick of the litter in terms of the meta. I think Sen's roster of what they can pull from is huge right now for them. It's very classic. It's what they like to run, and they're definitely taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I like that we're going back to, you know, what we've seen them play in the group stage, outside of obviously Amazing, who's been cooking on the clops. To see what way they're going to go about it now. Again, so much Angela value. So you've got the kind of air and sea taken care of, right, with the ground of the penny nest. And just try to protect your 7th member of the squad right now. Cart understands the assignment, and here it is, the Battle of the Angels up in the air. Love to see it. It's Lucifer versus the Heavenly Angel in what can be Cart. Here we go, bud.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good play here. Looking at Yusha, great utilization there of the iframe on the dodge to stay healthy, try to get some damage back onto Card, who is just trying to distract and pull eyes away. Now the moment's there, looking for that penny tackle, I think. Wow, Dongman's still able to find Tuzi before the tackle comes through. Likely able to escape. Tuzi gets BRB, though, back in the fight here for Fly, who will now be running that rocket as well on the attack. That's back by Flamme as Melio drops Amazing. I think Amazing should be back with the BRB. Yep, the numbers are still even. Both BRBs down for this moment. Techie with some good walls is going to walk them forward. Isolate as Cart drops Dongman off map now. And again, now Fly are looking to take this quickly.
Velocity can have his ult before anybody is going to be even close to it as well. They don't even need to use it. Very good job just of awareness. Because at this point, can't do a lot of ult tracking. Has to do more guesstimation. And they're going to go ahead and use it to have that exclamation point. There goes the portal. Point is going to the wire. They finally touch on it and kind of use that. You know, I like it. I like the decision there. Just go ahead and use what you've got. You have such an advantage at this point. Only thing I didn't love is the last bit of Usur's ult. Obviously, just trying to sustain as much as they can.
Yeah, if you didn't mention that, I was going to. I think the comms were probably there, that the touch was available to try to send it, but it was kind of a pipe dream. There was just not a lot res. There was not a lot of pressure out of Portal, and honestly, the Portal was kind of super aggro. It was facing directly where all the team was from the side of FlyQuest on that attack, and you know, you can't do that if you want to buy time. So unfortunate there, but really well done by Fly on this attack, and they are angry. They want to push this to OT.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's just really slow ult charge here on the back half of Sin, man. They just cannot buy a strategist ult to their name. I mean, Velocity's about to lap them here at this moment. Flamey can bring back Crimzo, but not going to be enough. Yeah, it is an absolute just cruising at maximum speed here. Going to get comfortable. This is going to be a bumpy flight, at least for Sentinels here in point 2. Red Mason does find that pick, but man, not before the whole team trades.
Yeah, you know, we haven't seen as much Phoenix in play as opposed to Hella after the nerfs, but still really good into the Sia from Rocket. It's just such a big counter. Tuzi going to be able to find one there, and Fly is not stopping here as Melio drops Crimzo. It is the exact same story in reverse roles as Kurova actually has to use the dance floor exactly like we saw Velocity to even get out of the door. It is literally the same story from different sides as Cart is up in the sky. Essentially just they're trying to birdwatch this guy, and wow, that's tough.
5 minutes, man, and on top of that, they still have Velocity to boot. I mean, they're going to be able to just storm up through the stairs. This is going to have to be, and this reminds me, I don't know if you remember when 100 Thieves went against them back last year. It was like a 6-minute push that 100 Thieves had, and Sentinels did the job. So they've been here quite literally before, finding 3 here even with the spawn break. It's still showing the fight that they want to have. Either way, gonna just get good ult charge, we kind of want to see from them. And Sentinels, again, that backline is miles away from anything.
Yeah, it's tough right now. They try to use these ults to get out the door, and there goes the Galactic Legend again, but really good marking once more. Tuzi going to clean that up onto Yusher. Melio finds Kurova. That was so well played by Cart there to shut that down fast, and I'm saying it once again, FlyQuest, they are angry, and they are looking clean.
Yeah, for sure. You've got the Glarchocks ready to come out hungry. Zelos still able to pump up what they need as well. So we're going to have to see how Sentinels chooses to adapt to this defense. 4 minutes, man, might as well be the entire amount of time they got for the map. It's a disgusting amount of time, and even, I mean, that has at least 3 perfect ult play rotations that you're going to have to get the better of them, and this team is absolutely feeling themselves here. They're going to go ahead and try to play aggressive. Love the play here from FlyQuest. They know they've got the advantage on the strat, and finding Melio finds Crimzo right at that, and Shiv, this is looking dangerous for Set.
Yeah, it's tough. It was matched back by the Ruby Rage to shut that down quickly. Numbers are even for the moment. FlyQuest, though, with ult advantage, as you can see. And this is a big spot to have ult advantage, especially when you've got the Glartrox Techie. Techie goes in, looking for that feast. Right, Mason going to be finding the first pick, though. Numbers up now for Sen. 6-5. 2Z looking for something. Melio drops Right. Amazing. That off map does not come through. And this play here on a Usher, instead, it's going to kind of slow down.
Yeah, I mean, Melio and Tuzi right now are the 1A, 1B. Just absolutely, we don't get a lot of them playing the hit scan at the same time. And this is just a threat to behold and really tough to handle. Flamey now going to throw the Desperation Sia, finding some type of value. They need, okay, there's the pick to get things started for them. 3 minutes down and out. There goes the res right back. Crimzo finding Zealous, though, will at least slow down this attack. So now you've got, what, at least one more ult rotation with the portal as well. 2 minutes 50 seconds though, man. Got to continue on. They didn't have to use too much though. I actually like that win for Sentinels.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was definitely clean. Crimson looked really strong there. Good plays on the Angela, finding 2 and helping with the 3rd early on in that fight. I remember the first time we interviewed Crimson on Angela, we're like, oh, do you do the animation cancel? He's like, I don't even know what that is. I just pull people. Yeah. I was like, dude, you're so funny. As we see, Crimson again with that early pick finds 1.
All right, Usher with another, and got a little bit of a stagger show going on now, and this is where the kind of nerves start to get at you. FlyQuest knows exactly what this means if they're able to push through this and continue on this lower bracket run. Sentinels even more so now as Usher's going on the hunt. Gotta love to see it here. Mixed tape is in, headphones and blaring as Peter Quill would do exactly. And I mean, Melio on the Psylocke. Thought it was Tuesday for a second, but now gonna go back to the old days. Finds the best of the combo. That's one way to get the Star-Lord out quickly.
That's a good pick there. As down goes Usher with ultimate. It's a tough look. Tuzi still holding on to this Glartrox. As discussed, Velocity with the Raging Royal Flush available. We know how much pressure that can apply. Sen doing a good job buying time, like you had said. The staircase is very defensible. Dance floor comes out now. If they stack, though, this could be the opportunity where we do see the Glartrox come out into play from Tuzi. But no, instead, Not quite yet. The grouping is out with the Heaven's Descent. The Sea is there too. Match back with the Ruby Rage. Right, amazing once more. Gonna find Tuzi, and Tuzi still has the Glartrox.
My gosh, the screen is red, as same as the scoreboard. I mean, people are falling left and right. Sentinels have burned down 4 minutes to 1:18 at that. What did they have in the bank to use? Still Yusher and Sia to boot, but that's going to be it. And FlyQuest right now just kind of hanging on. Velocity's certainly going to get back to the rotation ship, so they're going to have to survive that at the least. But keep in mind, Sentinels already have their 3, so they're happy with where this has gone. The defense is standing strong, ship. Legendaries are being played here, as we're going to have Yusher try to be one in the moment. Here we go, man. 54 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, Banhammer. I was going to say Techie might be saving Banhammer for Yusher, but no, immediately going to use it and dive right onto Flamme. Potentially get 2 here. Well done, Techie now as they clean that up. Goodbye to Korova. Try to play in that off-angle space. It will not last long. The whole team is going to be swept now as Tuzi takes out Crimzo and still has the Glartrox. Yusher with the legendary. Amazing finding Techie's a good trade, but will it be enough? They got to get back and touch this point. Looks like they'll be able to do that, but it's going to be a tough final fight. This should be the last fight we see, barring portals.
Yeah, man. Without even having upgrades, man, Techie just smoked the stretch backline. Absolutely disgusting. Going to see the Strange swap in as well. But this is given time now for Sentinels to get these ults up and ready. We'll see this combination of the Sia Star-Lord. They're coming into their home, right? So they're going to be able to get a lot more of the advantage from the sky. Nowhere to hide, as we said last time. This is how they ended this point on the air. And it's going to be again finding 1, now 2. Ship, are you joking? 1 second left. Oh my God, Sentinels. Keep it going.
It's not done yet, folks. Still holding on here. Sentinels are going to make this go to our next match, game 4. And this should be the Tides. I mean, I think both teams now are understanding the assignment. They see what's happening with the ban phase. The question is, can they keep this momentum in their favor and push it to game 5?
Bro, how poetic for the Sentinels to stand guard like they did in that defense approach there, take that map and ground what FlyQuest was zooming through. I mean, I wasn't even ready for the last call on that, bud. I was not prepared for that, the second to evaporate. And just like that, the chances for FlyQuest to move forward. What an absolute just goated way to hold strong in Dracula's castle and get it done. We knew it was going to happen, buddy. We knew we weren't going to get a sweep here one way or the other between these two orgs, and of course with us calling the calls.
It's got to be like that, buddy. But yeah, folks, stay tuned as we will be heading to our next match right after this short break.
쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 자충을 쳐봐 어둠이 떠날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 눈이 부신 모든 순간들 지켜내야 해 내가 주어지는 면 좀 이따 내일까지 세게 오면 And when you wake up, open your eyes, raising up your fists and smashing through time walls before the rift splinters again. We are rebels till the end. Rise up, open your mind, hold on to your powers. No one can stop us. We are rivals again until the end of time.
What's going on, guys? Coming back from break, Sentinels have reminded us this series is far from finished. FlyQuest, they still lead 2-1, but Sentinels just found their first map, and now the pressure starts to shift. Shib, we are heading into our fourth map of the matchup, and now things reset. And FlyQuest, they have their choosing of the map. Now, we've seen them twice now in this situation. 2 times pick Heart of Heaven, which is one that not a lot of teams like to play, but FlyQuest, they feel right at home, and it really complements what they have in their hero pool, where I think they're going to take it probably.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I could absolutely see that. Again, it's the first time they get to choose map, so this is in their favor, things that they've practiced and worked on. Looking forward to seeing if they change the ban phase, though, because I think we really got to see Sentinels take advantage of all the strength that was let through, and that is what they needed to make happen, and they really did. As you look here at Usher, who ended up with 19 finals and 31k damage. Super well played.
Yeah, Usher was an absolute stud in the group stage, and we continue to see it now here into the playoffs. Wanted to have a better day 1, but this day 2 is absolutely singing the praises of what has been such a great DPS pickup for the Sentinels here. Locked in, this team is ready to roll. And again, I mean, when we go back, we have so much to break down with this matchup, because it has been a game of chess between the two, not only in domination, when you have so many quick hero flexes and, swaps going on, but also with these pick bans, not remaining the same throughout. As we take a look at the stats, man, what jumps out to you here? Anything to note?
Yeah, I mean, Rymazing's 43k damage on the Cyclops combination off of Flamme with the Sias. I mean, that's so much. 17 finals, by the way, too, right behind Usher. Again, the entirety of Sentinels, the plan from Fly was, hey, let's mess with the strat line, try to throw them for a loop. Sentinel said, okay, let's ban more tried and true strategy, or let's lock in some more tried and true strategists, and let's just play off the fact that we have super meta composition we could run, and they ran it so well. I'm wondering if Fly's going to shake that up now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you give them the option to play most of the meta, it's like, it's a little bit of a disrespect hit of the pick and ban, and hey, you got to answer it, right? We saw that kind of in the group stage with teams against something like 100 Thieves. They're like, hey, have Gambit. They would lose with Gambit. It's like they try to have that challenge go on because you want to force the others to show what they have at play. And I think Sentinels, they try to do that with Rogue, right, in the early couple of games, and like the things are getting back to form. I mean, Dongmin on that Venom looked disgusting.
Yeah, that van line on the attack especially, they were dominant. Again, it didn't show in the stat line. They had 4 finals apiece, but they were consistently taking infinite space and not going down, and that's all you're looking for. The Cat Venom was great. The switch over to Angela whenever need be. Crimson was getting some off maps. Dongmin was constantly getting value. I think we saw a 4-piece on point 2. So again, they really just showed up when they needed to, and this is what Sen needed in this moment. Now, again, still backs against the wall against their map pick, right? So it's going into Fly's favor. This is going to be another tough one.
Yeah, for sure. And again, as we predict, we think it'll be Heart of Haven. They might take it back to domination. There's a chance there with how well they play. But, man, for final point, it's like that could just be so tough. Because if things go array in Dom, I think it's just not a map that I would choose personally as, kind of the coach and leader of the team. But we'll see as they gather together and more. And Chip, it's crazy because if you look at just what they've been able to do, and we keep on highlighting it, they kept a lot of the core the same with FlyQuest. And as we find ourselves talking about the roster, we see that 4th map, and wouldn't you know, it is the Heart of Heaven to decide potentially a 2-2 BO5 for FlyQuest flying strong.
And this is another one of those maps where like Angela plays great, group plays great, even you can Penny here. So Yeah, I mean, Sentinels could get cheeky with it too. I think Fly like it because this is a comfort pick for them. It's something they've run in the past, like we've discussed. They found success here, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad map for Sen if they want to go back to something more unique. But I will say right now, the success from them has been when they're running strict meta.
Yeah, you might have the Daredevils come out once again for Melio and Amazing as well. Can always kind of work into the rotations of especially this first point. Last time they played was 3-2. It came down to the exact wire of the last point that FlyQuest ended up holding strong. And that was for the same exact thing, kind of that reverse sweep once again. So we might get that here potentially, but it starts here at the Heart of Heaven as we've got the cameras zoomed into the Max Tuesday, locked in, ready to play that his can roll. And of course, how poetic of Crimzo coaching out, throwing out exactly the strats that they want to roll with in this pick ban. We'll save you time. Mantis is gone. But what do we get in response here from Fly?
I think, yeah, we're going to likely see from Fly, yeah, the Gambit, but then Sentinels, it's going to be potentially the Luna or Rocket again, I would see. I think they want to try to get back to the roots. It worked out for them last time. We'll see in a moment. Yeah, obviously the removal of Cyclops, but then their lock-in here, I believe will probably be Luna or Rocket. And why not keep exactly what they're comfortable on? But that being said, I guess anything can happen here. Cyclops ban out for Sentinels makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, this is where you don't want to cook too much. Okay, I like the Luna save. Obviously, it wasn't like it blew away the scoreboard or anything like that, but it just gave him a good back foundation, I thought. And it allows Usher to play a bit more free as well with Flake. Snowflake just changes the game so much. Play way more front to back with that clap, right? There's just so much that Luna offers as the industry plant of a hero here, it seems, in Rivals. And that ban going to Rocket, that's going to certainly stop a little bit of what they were doing there on the initial Central Park with Ultron ban, Chip.
Yeah, it's going to make it tricky for Sen now. It's like, who's going to be your strat too if you want to run something traditional? I guess it's going to potentially be a triple backline with Ultron now, which I don't necessarily think is a bad decision. Height here is very strong, especially point one. You want to play heavily on top of that structure. Angela's likely either going to be played or last banned here. I would assume because she plays so well here in more of the meta front. And yeah, look at that removal of Ultron as well.
This is interesting because you could go, they're going to play Adam certainly here. So like, they go with the Angel ban. Okay. So this is obviously a good play. I think, they might just save it too, right? Because, you don't want to give away your card and then not end up getting that one-sided advantage. But man, I've got to say, so the Ultron ban to the Ultron save means it's dive, right? Like that's what I think Sentinels are going to plan on running here. Most likely Star-Lord save. Interesting. I don't hate that. So you think, do they try to match the Angela ban back, or do they try to focus more on maybe a Luna?
It could be, yeah, okay, Rocket. Okay. That's great. I, for some reason, thought they had already locked the Rocket. Yeah, I thought it was already gone. Yeah, or else I would, that definitely Rocket. That makes a ton of sense to me. I mean, truthfully, I think I like the ideas behind the bans on both sides. I like Fly's a ton here. I think they adjusted super well half of what they saw from the last match. Fly was trying to run this very traditional, same old, get rid of every strategist. Now they saw that, hey, you know what? We probably can't let every single main meta pick through because we will lose. And they have adjusted sense. Good plays. And Sentinel's trying to shake it up as well.
Alrighty, guys. Well, will the reunion roster rise and Sentinel stand tall again, or FlyQuest end up landing the plane into the lower bracket, advancing to make that dream of land happening one more time? Again, FlyQuest making it to grand finals last year, but did not make the MSF, and kind of a similar tale. So fun to see as we gaze upon the Heart of Heaven. And buddy, we are in for a good one. Melio showcasing Iron Man. Get off Jarvis there, says Amazing on the other side. But we'll see how they choose to open up this point.
I like the show there for the moment. For Melio, you can see what Fly is floating, but I'm not sure that will be the case out the door. But if it is, I don't hate that at all. Potentially an early portal play behind to try to not even worry about the height, because you can see the entirety of Sen. The goal on this defense is to just maintain that building, and it looks like they are going to portal off rip.
Yep, portal coming out here. Melio is going to the Star-Lord. Great way to challenge the Ultron immediately here, and it's going to be very similar, interesting comps. Dogman and Tuesday being on the tank pool especially is going to be a fun, interesting choice of change up here, especially on the offensive approach. So going triple Vanguard opening up is definitely a different tactic than we've seen time and time again. Now we're going to go and have the quick rogue, and Tech finds immediate value. Usher deleted from the game.
Yeah, we're going to have to see a portal quickly. This portal play is huge. Big brain by Fly. Really threw the strategy from Sen for a loop. Cart able to drop Karova as well. That's 2 down here as Fly now have just completely locked in. Getting the point this quickly is tough. The portal's going to have to come through. It looks like Sen did not make the shift. Interesting. Okay.
gonna call it an L. I mean, it's like, I think they just got hit right in the mouth and like, what just happened, right? Everybody has a plan. They say shit until you get hit in the mouth. And they're trying to figure out what they want to do now.
I don't love that. I think what happened there was a comm issue. I think Yusher said, do I need portal? And they probably said no. And then right after that, Kurova went down. They're like, ooh, he probably should have said yes. And that's tough, man. He can't do that.
Definitely at this level as well. You know, obviously could be a quick wipe either way, but yeah, definitely one that you want back, especially because, you know, this part of the zone not as friendly to the portal play. Crimson, though, getting that pickup velocity will slow down the ult charge, most importantly, and that momentum they have so strong. Dogman getting quickly here on the Abyss, gonna go feasting quite shortly. Again, if you can land those timing, I want to look for that symbiote pop with the ult so you get the instant deletion of the strategist. Tuzi on the tank pool, throwing down the banhammer immediately and get the pressure on.
Yeah, I like the dive here from Sen. It's tricky on defense, but when you have that triple backline, it's totally fine. They're going to make sure Yusher is constantly pocketed with that drone. Crimzo gets caught for the moment, is able to escape. Great take of height there. And again, double pocket with the flake and the drone to escape. It's really tough to take cap out in that. Melio going to be able to find Kurova. Looking for 2. Do I see 3? Yes, we do. Well done here from Melio, who is just frying. And that is going to be a combination of 2, though. So we'll see Sentinels come back with some ult advantage. But either way, Fly is keeping this thing moving.
Not brutal. Dogman trying to get out there. Sometimes the automatic swing can get you out of danger a little bit easier than the manual swing. Even the best Venom players sometimes still have it on a key lock that you could do there in the settings. But yeah, great job there from them going in. I mean, with the Ultron Ban and Protect, they had to commit to the dive. That's what they wanted to go in with. But yeah, going double ult here, they got to win the value trade here as Kurova finds Techie. See if they just shoot into the blindness. That is the Invis ult. What do you think of that ship?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I think right now there's a little bit of panic coming from Sen. Yusher going to start up here with the Galactic Legend. There it is. As the momentum shifts back, Yusher is able to find 1. Flame able to drop Zelos now, make it a 2-piece on Melio. Well done with the hit scan front. I think it's tricky now for the backline of Sen. I don't love the Fox into this comp. I mean, you're real, you know, it's not bad into the Vanguard line. It's just there's a lot of movement on this team. So you just got to you pretty much mark Hulk or Techie when they extend a little bit from Kurova. That being said, we'll see if they can get their feet under them. It looks like they've got it for this moment.
Yeah, you're playing it as such more of a compliment role, right? And just trying to really help out that dive even more so. But May still having ult, like with Crimzo to boot, and then to go and farm up the rest of Kurova and Ryan Mason. This rotation could be pretty sexy here for Sentinels, as Carr's going to do his best on the Hulk. Have not seen a lot of the Hulk go here from Carr, but Techie now rotating over. This point has not moved, man. 3 minutes down. Saw that Central Park with ease, and Techie showing the one-hit combo can be done on the Ultron. Tuzi gets the finish.
Yeah, Melio able to drop Crimzo there too. Another good retake here from Fly with ult advantage, not even committing. Velocity, Melio, and Techie with ults. And we know how threatening that could be. Velocity and Melio potentially bursting through the dance floor with some good focus. Cart doing a great job playing Hulk here. Hulk excels on this map just simply because there's a lot of different jump locations with essentially invisibility. You're going through the smoke screen and you can take height and drop low quickly and escape some of this fire. So really finding advantage there.
All right, you can rotate in. Nope, they're going to choose just to hide with Flame here, and certainly one choice and option. Kurova going to be close to his Ryan Mason, who double ulted last time, but going to go and try to find that value with it. And there in response is Yusher. The Legend is up and shooting in the air. Is going to be forcing to pop both of these key sub ults. Does get away somehow, some way. Melio, though, finding Crimzo. Dogman, the Vanguards are down. The front line is gone. That space is well with it. We point you to FlyQuest.
Yeah, Fly is it's just really strong right now across the board. I mean, everything was lights out. That was perfect play on that fight. They forced out the dance floor. They did obviously combine with Velocity. Didn't get a ton of value there, but really good shred outs to end there from Zelos. So it's bide some more time. Velocity actually making the switch and saying, all right, maybe it's not worth the Gambit play. Oh, Psych, I lied. Zelos is going to make that transition. So they have double the Raging Royal flushes. And again, I think Gambit is in a really strong space right now, especially if you have this kind of aggressive comp where your whole team is just snowballing at them with this brawl.
Bro, this is a disgusting comp, right? You're putting so much trust in Melio to do the damage front, but to have all this off angle, you have Cart as the Gamma God, Techie with the Southern BA doing his thing, and then Tuzi. Can I just say that tank pull coming out here in this Heart of Heaven is insane. I did not expect to see him, of all people, on that role. Probably more of that Melio role is what I was going to maybe see, but either way, it's going their way. Amazing does find Tuzi there, but they do have what they want to find.
Yeah, this is the comp you want to run when you're running like a more damage focused, less, strat healing, pumping backline. This is the kind of stuff you want to see even if you have like a two-stack Mantis. You want these Vanguards that play their own lives 24/7 with a ton of mobility and shielding. Techie able to find Dongmin there, and FlyQuest are looking just so good right now. I don't know that Sen's able to find a comp that can slow this pace. There's 2 minutes on the clock turning this bend. That is so much time for Heart of Heaven.
My gosh, the OK Go comms there just to delete and banish Dogman from the server. That was disgusting, man, how quickly they made use of that. And this is why you had the Loki comp. Now you've got the Gambit ult once again to find your next target and move in. Melio going to have that ult. And guess what, Shib? They've got nothing to answer. Maybe you can hide with the Crimson. We've got to all be together. Stack this Wonder. Amazing. Finding the best pick there on the Loki going to be huge. Zealous does pop ult, and that is actually a mistake. They're going to win this fight, Sentinels, and they got the resources out. Okay dub for Sentinels on that one, Shib.
Yeah, good return here. You can see the comp is switching. Dongmin going to be going over to the Emma. Emma does a great job into this brawl stuff. I think this is a matter of time. Like, needed to happen, so I like that decision here. It's going to slow up Hulk. It's going to make Techie a little more wary. Obviously, you can copy up the diamond form, which is a huge copy. But yeah, it forces Cart to switch. Cart's going to be on that cap now. Emma's just good into this brawl stuff, into the snowball stuff. Her and Dino actually aren't bad, and then you can actually use her ult to shut down the Galactic Legend from Melio.
Yeah, they still... Ooh, nice rogue ult. It's going to get Flamade down from the ultimate. Going to go ahead and Ruby red it out. Going to find a lot of value, if not able to connect too many of those with the visor this time around. Flamade using good barrier there of environment. But Chip, I mean, right now with 54 seconds and Sentinels having plenty of the defensive line on their end, looking pretty strong. Obviously going to have both Zealous and Velocity back. They need a pick now and pretty soon on one of these back lines, or it's going to be curtains.
Yeah, well done there by Tuzi and Cart to find that pick like you just talked about. Goodbye to Yusher. Out goes the dance floor now to try to stall for a moment, but down a number. It's a little more panicky. This is what Fly was trying to force out. Dongman's still holding on to that ult now. The idea is to counter up or maybe even use it here into Zealous with that Raging Royal Flush and just slow the pace of the run. But there's going to be the pick now against... Ooh, well done by Melio on a Crimzo in that fight, who's trying to get that ult in time, but it's going to be a huge stop. Yep, it is going to try to stop this Raging Royal Flush. Look upwards. Starting to walk now is the front line, and it's going to slow this pace. The whole team should be able to regroup now.
What a good bubble there, too, to just, kind of slow down that trance the best you can. Kurova finally getting that Fox on line and ready, pushing forward with it. Amazing close to Ruby Red. Yushu's going to be there for the legendary moment as well, but his Velocity, down goes the double cards. Everything is on the table. Trying to hit jackpot here as Melio. 2 legends in the air. Cards flying with 1. Damage boost in already. FlyQuest look to make this their main quest as they push into 3 and get the full cap.
Yeah, that was just FlyQuest domination. I think Sen started finding their footing and what they needed to do into that comp and force Fly to make the adjustment. And folks, again, speaking about one tricks and all that kind of stuff, it just goes to show you the pro scene. It's a game of chess. You try to find a solution. The downside is when you swap, you lose alt charge, right? That's the downside. But you're constantly adapting as a team to find a way through it. I think Sen found their footing at the end for a moment, but it just was not enough. Cart 11-0 after making those swaps. It just goes to show you really clean play. You don't always need to go down before you swap.
I just wasn't the only thing I was Flume playing a great game, by the way. There's a couple big freezes that he had there, especially on Rogue. But kind of the panic ult there at the end. I think there's like 24 seconds left to stall a little bit, and I get it. I think Crimson fell to Melio, but that's where it's like, man, things kind of fell like dominoes from there, and they needed that one ult to kind of stand strong because they kind of relied it all on Dogman on Emma, and that was just getting deleted instantly. So yeah, listen, Melio was said, here's the keys to the DPS kingdom as Tuzi played the tank pool, and man, did he absolutely open the doors to success.
Yeah, that comp was a problem. That's a dirty comp, and I respect that. It's something we actually don't see a lot. And again, this is one of those things where if you play these maps that maybe teams haven't seen a lot and you've practiced some sort of weird thing, it's just so hard to find the solution, and you get to see it. Ascent is now forced to get a full cap here to push this to OT. Fly going to be able to relax just a little bit.
Dude, funny enough, exactly how it was drawn up last time in the best of 3, as FlyQuest got the full 3 with time expiring, and Sentinels got stopped right on the doorstep. Will history repeat itself, my man, or will we find change in the winds here? As FlyQuest has really discovered themselves in this preseason into now what is the biggest part of this org in the playoffs. Tuesday going to find one already with Yusher, and they are showing dominant on defense to start.
Yeah, and they really do like Melio on this Warlock. Melio is just really strong on hit scan again, but Warlock has been stepping back into the fold here when you were able to run these triple kind of comps and still provide a lot of hit scan pressure. The slight buffs making it just enough here, at least in pro play, where the comms are off the charts. Kurova You know, again, I just don't love the Fox. If I'm being honest, I think Korova's a disgusting player, but I just don't know that Fox gets so much value. But either way, Amazing. Now that they have dive, I think it's better. So more commitment. This is a better way to play with Fox because you're essentially going to play with your dive, and that makes more sense to me. Walking forward, Amazing's able to find one. Can they keep this going?
And no way we don't get the Atom eventually, potentially, maybe, I don't know, in the later points. But yeah, right now, not crazy about it. I guess it just enables Flamme with one more in the charm, and you just try to work the best with that team up as well, giving more fit to the puzzle. But either way, getting close here for the cap. For Amazing, hunting for more, giving those callouts out, and then finds the Golden God to boot. Crimson and dive is to a maximum right now. No Ultron in sight, as that was the game plan going in, Shib, and none needed. Self-res going to go up. The back here, Flamme just trying to get those shots of the heal, and wow, oh my gosh, FlyQuest, man, literally locked in.
I can't believe they held that. That was so clean from Fly. It does force out Velocity as Tuzi cleans up Korova. There wasn't a lot of commitment there in terms of all. It actually only Dongman in that fight from Sen, but either way, Fly did a great job just stalling. Cart was just juking, schmoving on that point, up and down, able to hold on, and literally getting down to like 100 HP. And then the dance floor comes in to keep the team up. The res is now available. Tuzi has ultimate Zelos. There's a lot of fear on the side of Fly. Yusher goes up, gets stunned instantly. Korova able to find one on a Cart, though. That's a good play from Korova as they're looking to push this point forward. There's the dance floor now back from Flamme.
Yeah, choosing to use Flamme over Korova here. I thought maybe they're going to try to go with just the Fox in the Hound and the Yusher on this next point, because really wanted to have them go that with point number 2, but no, going to use what they need to secure the E-limbs, and just like that, no portal going to be played, and be able to get the rest of the team. Techie goes down. Either way, though, win for FlyQuest. Use Velocity, Zelos. I mean, we'll see what Rai can get out of Value Town from that and Korova's ult, but man, this could be a tough point 2 to take.
All right, here, as we are strapping back in, there's a good attack there from Sentinels. Fly still holding on to a few ultimates here, but they did have to commit. Fly going to be no longer running that Gambit. And you know what? That really has been the major change since the group stage, is how much value we're putting on Gambit. Still a great player, great hero, I should say, as Yusher is looking to apply more to get that ult quickly. 50% Amazing, though. Let the devil out will be the next thing we look for. Tuzi going to spin to win on Yusher, who likely will fall here. Does fall. Now the momentum's back. Immediately going to commit onto Flamme. What a freeze here! Flamme trying to clean up Tuzi, who goes down. That was dirty. There was commitment from, at the moment, Korova just trying to stall on point as Amazing gets 3 now on the attack. Make it 4. And now Sentinels are stepping up. It's a penta from Rai.
The batons are flying, my man. They are flying, and the Daredevil just cannot see, but he gets all the angles. Buddy, just the mayor of Value Town is Amazing at times with that ult. And it's kind of all they had in their back pocket now, allowing everybody else to get up to rotation. Gotta love the play there from them. Melio a mile from ult. We'll see what Techie can get from it, but it's gonna be a neutral play for a bit here, as it is gonna be towards the backline spawn. Hello.
Yeah, I really do like the comp more from Sen here on this attack than I did on the defense. Techie going to be dropping Yusher on the return here from Fly, who's Zelos is holding on to all. Velocity going to be there, so a lot of answers on the side of Fly for the moment, and that means Melio will have that res available by the time those strat ults go through. So it's going to be tough for Sen through this. They're going to need to make some big plays. I like this decision from Crimzo. I think Groot plays very well into triple comps. You got to force out that bond from Melio, and you won't have crystals to deal with from Loki, so you can land that out on the backline and try to burn through something like Fox. Obviously, the dance floor is unseeable, so Velocity has a decent answer, but it's all about focus now through the Strangling Prison.
Yeah, gonna go. Zealous gonna pop it first. Gonna get burned down very quickly here. And Flamme gonna get the show on the road as well. So 1 up if Velocity can hang on to this. It's be really clutch for what they need. Nope, gonna pop it. Forced to pop it. Big win from Sentinels as Yusher trying to find his spacing in time. But man, it's just, there's so much to sustain, as you said, bud. It's not even point 2 that I'm worried about. I mean, sure, point 3 though, that time is evaporated at this point. Gonna have to play near perfect. Tough to do as Legends are in the sky. Tuzi hiding from what is Yusher hunting.
And Yusher's able to drop Cart, trying to get a 2-piece out. Really good movement, but that will find a few. Wow, what am I looking at? What good focus, and wow, still through that. Zelos goes down. I thought it was gonna have a pick. Amazing onto Velocity. That was well played by Sen now, but again, there will be some ult answers. Cart and soon to be Tuzi. Korova brings up the invisible boundary. That'll be nice. Dongman gonna likely try to counter Tuzi here. And Crimzo, it's all about this Q, but now Velocity makes the switch. There is that answer, the chess piece on the board, the full team comp switch. Now as you see Punisher come out too.
Yeah, front to back, like the Punisher here against the Groot, as we thought it. Oh man, this is a bummer. I was gonna say, what are they gonna use here to try to get advantage? But man, that was, yeah, we're not gonna show a replay of that one, that's for sure, buddy. As the Ruby Rage does go out, once again, finding empty, buddy. It kind of feels like desperation at its final hour here, as we're seeing not a lot of connection.
Yeah, I didn't love that. I think if you know Tuzi has ult there, odds are, I mean, you don't want to burn, if you can, you don't want to have to burn the invisible boundary and save for something else. And wow, even through the boundary, Korova gets destroyed from Techie. Usher is able to trade that back though, but numbers are still in Fly's favor. Ult still in their favor too as Tuzi goes up to the sky. Punisher gets low, it doesn't matter. The Do-Si-Do into the backline, staying healthy for now. Really good patty caking as Crimson takes the brunt of the damage. But now we're close to OT, 13 seconds, and you're going to have to go into a lot of damage here on the group into that Melio Punisher with ult, who almost falls.
Eyes on the K-pop Queen. Flamme finally getting that show started. Velocity gonna copy. There comes the judge, the jury, and the executioner. Every bullet has a name, and each name belongs to Sentinels. But Yusher finds the best, the flip and the dip. Two go down. Dogman Korova, big picks at that. There's the legends up. Yusher, can he do it for Sentinels? Can they 5.2 and find a will and a way? But Techie, Shift, takes it down.
Yeah, I mean, down to 20 HP right there was Zelos. And folks, I think that might be the swan song here for Sentinels in this tournament. The portal goes out, but it doesn't matter, and that's gonna do it here. Well done, FlyQuest, glitching up this W.
2, 3.
Wow, we say goodbye to Sentinels, repeating history with a 3 that done it to the midseason finals, and do not make it there with a roster with hopes, dreams, and more. Landing in second place in their group, but the playoffs did not have the same chance and hope that they once had. FlyQuest, get it done. This new rostership is one to fear, my man, and I am blown away.
Yeah, I think it's just, it was just time. They just needed time together. This team is a problem. They looked so good. There's really not much you could say. I don't think Sen played bad by any means. I think their ban phase got even better. I think FlyQuest just looked like the stronger team out there. Very strong play.
For sure, man. I mean, listen, you would never see in comp, right? Like Melio was playing Star-Lord to perfection, and they're like, hey, go to Adam. Tuzi's gonna go back on Star-Lord. Like, to give up, even though you just had the perfect game in the first half, like, it just shows how well they flexed through each and every one. And I think a big thing we can highlight, and we kept talking about, was the ult rotations and the way that they utilized their best combinations. It felt like, I mean, definitely there at the end too, towards some of those just kind of leaking out of the queues from Sentinels, that FlyQuest just looked much stronger in their communication.
Yeah, I mean, it was just consistent, right? There was a couple times where Sen just made hero plays and made it work out, and I think they looked really good on map 3 there. But outside of that, like virtually every fight, Fly was, they knew when they were going to lose the fights. They knew when they were going to win the fights. They executed combinations well. It was just clinical. It looked like there was not a ton of mistakes, and their compositions were really cool, and they worked out.
Yeah, and FlyQuest, they got to be happy because now they'll be going up against either, what is it? Well, it's going to be interesting because you have two very big opponents coming down from the upper bracket in both Yaoi Lost and 100 Thieves. They're, you know, not strangers to at least one of those teams. Yaoi Lost is one of those teams that can kind of always get you on a certain day, right? So they can be tough. But our MVP going to Melio, and how appropriate, bud. We started the show. We said this guy's got to play his best today to move on forward, and did just that. Yeah,
it was a great call by you. As you can see here, 26k damage and swapping to whatever was needed. The Adam looked good. Big reses again. I think Melio is definitely in the conversation for one of the best Adams I've seen. I think there's not a lot of teams that feel confident on the Adam, and I think Adam has niche maps and niche locations where he's an absolute problem, and executed well and then made that switch when need be to counter.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, it feels like, you know, the spots that they filled, we talked to it, and it was tough to say goodbye to the three that they let go. The fact that they were able to fill to such success. And they went to NRG, who was like, you know what, we're trialing our backlines, and they got Velocity, and then they bring in Car from Yaoi Lost. It's like they, you know, formed their own Avengers after losing big names at that with someone like Vest. So just props to this team finding a will in a way as we see the Melio show roll on. Star-Lord play near perfect from him and the Tuzi.
Yeah, you get a glance at some of these highlights now, and folks, it looks like we are going to be interviewing, I believe, Card. I'd have to double check that with production in a moment, but either way, this was a really, really clean matchup here. I think Sentinels put on a show. Shout out to Sen for making it a fun watch for us, and everybody in the comments, I'm sure, has had a ton of fun, and I'm sure a lot of the Sen fans are going to be heard about the situation. But Psych Outloud is going to be Techie on the interview. Techie taking on his own team, man. That's going to be fun to talk about.
Yeah, the revenge tale complete. And, you know, man, can't wait to ask, but guess who they play? They play 100 Thieves, all right? They'll be going up against 100 Thieves, and they played them in the group stage. It was a 2-0, Thieves won. But you know what? That was early. That was I think it was the second day, so this team was still kind of clicking and finding their way. So it's going to be a much different tale from both sides. I think 100 Thieves has gotten better, as we've seen over time. Almost, you know, certainly put on a show today. And FlyQuest, I mean, one of those teams not making it to LAN is pretty crazy. I mean, 100 Thieves, that would be their first land to miss as well. But FlyQuest, Techie, and Co. get it done.
Yeah, there's so much I want to talk about here. I mean, I think Heart of Heaven's a great map. A lot of teams don't like to run it. I think there's a lot of value in running maps that teams don't like, right? And getting value in just practicing, a specialized map. Their team comps were really cool. So a lot I want to talk about as we look at the stats now. I mean, there's a lot that stands out to me. But buddy, what do you think about the stat line here?
Yeah, for me, it's funny because like the hero portrait on the side might as well not matter, right? Yeah. I mean, there's not one that represented them. And I think for me, I was impressed with the way that Zealous and Velocity flexed in and played well. I think that there were struggles there, and they just answered every call that was needed. If you just take a look at the quick stats, the 40K of healing per side, absolutely crazy. Perova, 28K, obviously playing a little bit different of a role there on the Fox, but I just thought the Fox, as you said, they went in with the dive plan with the Ultron ban, and a little too late because they tried to swap it up, didn't work out. Yeah,
I like their attack comp a little more than their defensive comp. It just kind of was a little bit unorganized. It felt like it was trying to do two different things at once, but that's also a testament to just a really good ban phase from the side of FlyQuest. I think their ban phases were adaptive. I think they kept learning and changing things. And when it wasn't needing to be changed, they ran that strat ban out in the first two maps. It looked good. Once they struggled on map 3, they adjusted and once again took home the W. So they're learning, they're adapting, and this team is very cerebral.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you, man, just a year, it takes 1 year for things to completely change, right? I mean, Sentinels, that roster that was so legendary back then, and to what it's come to now. It's crazy to think that, roster mania shifts it up. Obviously, orgs change, but man, it's crazy to see where we've kind of gotten with this storytelling of this early esports still. And it could change in a month in the next patch, That patch could be, in the favor of Sen. So who knows, man? It's just how the game goes. Well, we finally got him on the winner's interview. Let's welcome in Techie, who did, confirm the revenge tale, did play for this team of Sentinels, now on the other side of FlyQuest, and is advancing in the lower bracket. First of all, man, congrats. How you feeling initially? And what a show.
Hey, what's up? Good to see you guys. I feel good.
Me too,
it was
man.
nice win. Feels good to win against Sen, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of following up on that. I mean, that's the question, right? Can you walk us through kind of that thought process? First off, good to see you as well again, my man. As you're heading even closer to land, it would be awesome to see you guys there. But walk us through kind of the thought process of going against Sen and what that looks like for you.
Pretty much, I would say, yeah, we lost kind of Watt so we could run. We kind of copied their homework, just banned 4 supports against Sen. Except for the last map, we banned NG because Crimzo was doing a lot. But yeah, just banned 4 supports, and yeah, that was the plan. So thanks to we lost, of course.
Yeah, man. Listen, obviously Sentinels, they did well in the group stage, and certainly, weren't expecting, I think, to be first to limb down. Got to ask you, man, because we said this going into the group stage, how's it been being picked up here, kind of at the halfway point, going into group, and showing who you are as a player, but showing, obviously who flies as a team. But as you guys look for one more win to land, I get to see you again. I mean, many of lunches with you, the cafeteria of China, remember? So it'll be fun to reunite. But yeah, walk me through that.
Yeah, I mean, our only focus right now is making land, really. So we're looking forward to that match against 100T. It will be completely different from the first time, obviously, because last time we played 100T, it was our first match together as FlyQuest, as first official as that new team. And so I think to be honest, we were horrible. But we're a completely different team now. And I think 100T is good, though. It will be a close match to 100%, but we will win. Yeah, they look really good today. Honestly, I think they looked really strong. And yeah, so did you guys. I think you guys played lights out today. Yeah. What has changed for you guys? You talked about how at first you quote unquote, sucked as a team. But I mean, honestly, I think it was just you guys were brand new together. Kind of what's been happening that you think has made you guys look so good? Well, first of all, I think Dino meta was really bad for us. I'm personally not good on Dino. So, I mean, that's on me. I can blame myself for that. But I think we also have so much more structure now, just all around structure, and we didn't at the time, obviously, because we were a pretty new team. So that helps also a lot, and we have an actual identity too, so we know what to play and what we're strong at.
Yeah, can you walk me through a little bit of that structure, right? Like, who is some of the shot calling? Like, it was crazy. I mean, Tuesday going on the tank pool, you guys bringing that in, and then having as well as Melio played on Star-Lord, then you guys swapped to Tuesday. Like, who, like, you know, where are these decisions being made? Walk me through some of that.
I mean, shout out Velocity. Velocity made some good calls for swaps. It was purely based on what Sentinels was playing and based on what they were swapping to, and it was just counter swaps. And it was good calls from Velocity, so shout out Velocity. Shout out also Hans, our analyst. He's helping us a lot. I think Velocity is doing a really good job now that he didn't at the time at ult tracking. So we're starting to fight off with Velocity ult tracking. And then Zelos will give like an ult management, like we should go with those ults. And then I'll most of the time do a fight plan on how we'll use the ults, or if someone has an idea, they'll come forward with the idea too. And then it's just
awesome.
target calling.
That's good insight.
Fight that me and Cart do.
No, that's good to hear. I mean, it's crazy like how in depth it is because it's such a team-based game. When it comes to Rivals as a whole. The final one I have for you, question-wise, is Heart of Heaven. I love the map. You guys are like the only team that selects that map. Is that just because you guys love running it in scrims, or is there a specific reason?
Yeah, I think no one plays that map. No one scrims it either. So, I mean, it would just be dumb to like always pick, for example, Museum. Everyone scrims that map every day. Everyone picks that map every day. And so we would rather practice a map like Heart of Heaven that we think is a map that's pretty technical to play. It's not like a straightforward map to play. And so we want to play that map and get good at it. And we know others won't be.
Awesome.
A little bit of the Velocity special there. Shin Shibuya at the group stage. Now got some Heart of Haven. Love to see it, buddy. Thank you so much for coming off of the winners interview. I know job's like not even far from finish. You guys got one more down to make it into LAN, and we're excited to see you guys get the chance at that, buddy. Thanks for coming in and go celebrate the win.
All right. Thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time, man.
Well, Shib, I mean, if Darkness had a name, that background dude was like, that guy was in the bottom of a cave, bro. But locked in. Love to see it.
Yeah, you have to be locked in. Like, I mean, there's nothing.